TOS, today on stream, the Twitch news guy.
Breaking news on what the fuck's going on in our sphere.
The source for streamer Twitch information.
Your go-to person for Twitch news.
He does Twitch news. All of the Twitch news, anything that has to do with like streams.
The best news on Twitch, you can get it from Zach. Zach is the best for Twitch news.
Yeah, I get all my Twitch info from Zach.
Dude, for real.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Bussy, if you don't know. Zach Bussy got the best Twitch news on the internet.
Fantastic informational things about everything and anything Twitch.
The go-to for everything Twitch.
I see a post and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn something. It's gonna be smart things that I'm gonna learn.
And he literally actually cares about the Twitch community.
I like to call him the Adrian Wojnarowski of Twitch.
The best Twitch news on Twitch. You're that guy that knows everything about Twitch.
You guys want to know what's going on with Twitch and what's coming on in the future and stuff like this, that's the man you want to follow and that's the man you want to watch.
Best place to get Twitch news, period.
The Twitch news extraordinaire.
Zach Bussy, best Twitch journalist to ever do it.
Indeed.
It's funny, I get most of my Twitch news from Zach.
I mean, if you ask me, he's more attractive than Devin Nash or that Slosher guy.
Oh, it's Zach Bussy.
Zach Bussy.
Zach Bussy.
Bussy.
Bussy. Bussy. Bussy. Bussy. Bussy.
Oh, man.
Broadcasting live around the world from the TOS.GG studio. Please welcome the host of Today on Stream, Zach Bussy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Am I muted? God damn it. I never remember to check. God damn it. Oh, no, I'm not muted. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. How you guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing well, guys. It is a Tuesday, the second Tuesday of the month, but you couldn't tell Twitch that because they have no idea what fucking day it is because they're all drunk and on drugs, allegedly in a video game. But welcome to the stream, guys. Nice to have you here. Guys, we have a great show planned for today. I'm not muted. We have a great show planned for today. We're going to be talking about what the hell Dan Clancy was doing communicating with the Iranians while on a mission in Saudi Arabia right before the war. Was he involved in active sabotage of the U.S.? Am I actually muted? There's no way I'm actually muted. Always muted, muted. You are, mate. Trust me, bro. Okay, you guys can't hear me. Okay, all right. You guys are such the worst. Because too many of you said it, and now, all right, you guys can all go to hell. You guys can all go to hell. You can die. You can die. What was I saying? Dan Clancy doing terrorism? I don't know. We're going to find out what he was doing in Saudi Arabia, because he was talking to the Saudis directly, but this was, I think, a little bit pre-war. A little bit pre-war.
I just want you to know, I like your voice, but we can't hear you. You're muted.
That's not true. That's not true. We also have to listen to what JasonTheWeen has to say about streaming culture. He's one of the most popular streamers in the world right now. And so it'll be intriguing to hear what he has to say about it. Pokimane shared some stuff about her business, and we have the 2025 yearly report, which came out literally 2 months ago, but here we are now. But hi, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are you? Welcome. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Except for iMod Good, he is unwelcome in this community and should be banned. But I don't know how to do that. There's a whole mod thing, and then I have to send I don't know. It's a whole thing. He mods bad. Exactly. Hi, Dimitri. Hi, Deep Pirates. Hi, Reg. Hi, Cersei. Hi, Growly Bear. Hi, iMod Good. Hi, Aureus. Hi, Stuzy. Joey, welcome in. Sans, hello. Hi, Dylan. Hi, Raymond. The Nofi show as Red Nofi, not marked yet. Oh, shit. Did I mess that up? Oh, well, it is what it is. I think I made it too long. Hi, Salty. I would love to chat, but there's a giant accept button in the way, and I'm not clicking it. That's the right move. We are live on YouTube at the same time, as you can see here from Growly Bear and Dimitri. We are live over on the YouTube stream, and they don't have an obnoxious CEO. They have Neil Mohan, and he is not obnoxious. Well, he's probably obnoxious if I listen to him enough, but he's not as obnoxious, nor... Actually, how old is he? How old is Neil Mohan? If he's anything less than 55, 52... 53, then it's okay. Mr. Amazing, going to look at the same thing together here so that I'm not just doing this myself. How old is Neil Mohan? Oh, okay. Right on the line. 53. Did I say 53? So, yeah. All right. Safe for at least a year. And then he's got to go. But yeah, we are live on YouTube at the same time. If you want to chat on YouTube or watch on YouTube, presumably less ads there or less annoying ads. I don't know how it all works. This intro just feeds his ego. Yes, it's true. I'm Mugget.
I'm paying for your coffee, mate.
That is true. Hi, Pure Rocka. Hi, Rio. Nice to see you. Welcome in. Did Zach deco his room yet? Sort of, kind of, but not really. Get in there. Spanian, hello. What a wonderful century we're living in. It's true. Hi, Matt. I can hear you. Kara, welcome. How is premium chat the way I find out that patch notes happen on an unscheduled day? Well, because Twitch doesn't know how to follow a schedule.
A new subscriber.
And that's all that we can say about that. Hi, Lost.
Hey, it's
welcome.
That time again.
What time is it? Oh, a resub. Oh my god, thank you so much for the 73-month resub, and Dragon Gem for the 31-month resub. That is 5 months short of 3 years. Very impressive. Thank you. You've already beat the odds. You've beat the odds of that 2-year mark. Banny, hello. Good thing I missed what that said. Something about terrorism, I forget. Today is the day to poke Zach's show far because we were rage quits and end stream. It's true. Hi, Chef. I thought I'd actually have time to do something today since we missed patch notes, but I guess not. Why can't I just say that normally? Fuck my life. Jesus. FML or that way. After my power died today, since maybe one day. True. Maybe one day. He's doing the most important of being. That is true. That's fair. Hi, Andrea. I'm looking forward to seeing the yearly streaming report and your insights on it. I'm also excited to look at it, to be honest with you. You know, slightly not as bad as Clancy or as creepy old man. True. Hi, DJ Sproggy. Welcome. Hope you and Sparty are well. Pretty good. He's right there. All rolled up in a ball. Hi, Illusion. Good thing you asked in all caps. True. Zach is typing in all caps. Are you really mad? Oh, I didn't mean that. Why are you yelling at Google? For reasons unrelated to Google. F my L. Yeah, exactly. Justin Trudeau's 54. Justin Trudeau looking like a 31-year-old being dragged around by his 26-year-old girlfriend. Justin Trudeau at Coachella. I see him at Coachella. Everybody see this? It's important. Canadian culture. That's not it. Next one. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. There they are, hanging out. Where's the other one? There's the other one. Look at that. Just hanging out at Coachella, doing stuff. Bonnie Benny, thanks so much for the 15 stream streak. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't go to channel. Welcome. Something in the water in Canada, something like that. The ex-prime minister, yes. The ex-prime minister is newly single and has zero or not newly single, but single and has zero responsibilities. He is finally living out his teenage years. Isn't she just as old? No, I think she's like in her 30s. 41. And he's 10 years older. Yeah, that's pretty close. Pretty close. They're both doing something weird right now. I don't know exactly what it is though. Coachella stream when? Not for another 3 or 4 years, and I need to find a 33-year-old girlfriend who wants to go. When do I play Coachella and thank TwitchCon for nothing? Hell yeah, Matt. Like every dude I've run into recently. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. It's how they do. Is how you do, fellow. It's true. He is. All right, guys. What the hell is going on in that face? We have a lot to do today, so we're gonna get right into it because we don't have enough time to dilly dally here. We got to get right into it. It is Tuesday. Do I have anything coming up this week? I don't think I have anything coming up this week, so I should be live, so it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, let's start off with Dan Clancy theoretically, hypothetically, possibly engaged in private talks that could have happened with the Iranians pre-war. Was he disclosing Amazon data center locations to the Iranians to make it an easy target? So if the Americans did decide to attack, that they would know exactly how to target those AWS facilities. If you guys don't know, Iran AWS. They targeted 2 of them. Amazon under attack. AWS data centers in Bahrain and in Saudi Arabia, I believe, were bombed by the Iranians in the war that has since occurred. And Dan Clancy was there in Saudi Arabia just a few weeks prior. So, I don't know. It could have happened. It's entirely possible. It could have happened. Probably not, but you never know. You never know. Don't forget the Oracle data center. That's true. That is true. When they hit the Abu Dhabi data center a couple of weeks ago, AWS status page was a wild read, was it? The possibility is not zero. Exactly. Convenient location. It is possible. All right. So this is, by the way, I think it's hilarious that, so if you guys don't know, the 1 billion follower summit, 1 billion follower summit is this huge event that is thrown in where is it here? Where's like a Wikipedia page? They don't have a Wikipedia page? Wiki. Just give me the Wikipedia page. I gotta pull up one of these. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's essentially a summit that brings together a lot of large creators around the world in Dubai, to where they basically, it's a localized meetup for, it's one of the largest creator based industry events. I guess that's the terminology that I use here. Where it's like TikTok is there and YouTube and Facebook, everybody is there. Lots of large creators are there. And it's just basically a summit to talk about content creation, the world of creation, what's going on these platforms, and you know, basically have a big party to celebrate that they're all very influential people. And Clancy went, and he was speaking about Twitch at this overall thing. They actually had an entire setup there. They had like a booth that you could go into, and there was games and sessions and lots of opportunities to learn. But one of the things that I do find funny about the 1 billion follower, and that's why it's named the 1 billion follower summit, because presumably the combined total of everybody who is there is 1 billion of the world's population. 1/7, 1/8 of the global population is following the people who attend collectively the 1 billion follower summit. So that's the play on the name here. And yeah, I one of the things that I do find particularly fascinating about this is that despite the fact that they have these grand principles of being this massive event, 139 views on the YouTube video, no comments. Nothing's going, 4 likes on this video. 12 days ago it released, 139 views, 16. So I just find that kind of funny that their own influence is somewhat limited. Anyways, let's have a listen to what Dan Clancy had to say at this summit. Let's have a listen.
A lot of you are kind of familiar with Twitch, but some of you probably are not deeply familiar with Twitch. So some of what I'm going to try to do today is just...
Do you want captions? We want captions. We might want captions. I can barely hear it, to be honest with you. Let me turn that up a little bit there. Let me hit it with the volume up here. Bad production at the... I guess they didn't have anybody who was able to do production. I want them to quit, to be honest. Yeah. 1 billion followers, 999 million. It was meant to be true. That is true.
Give you a sense of what is happening on Twitch, okay? And what is unique and what has been happening in live streaming.
Bingo? Oh, should we do bingo? I guess we can do bingo. Yeah, I guess we can do bingo. Do we want to do Clancy bingo? See, it's different. It's different because he's not at home base doing patch notes. Let's take a look at what this one says. See, that one won't work. That is patch notes. Oh, that's Clancy free episode. What's just the Clancy one? Magic, brand safety, guest star, 3 mentions of AI, multi-streaming foundation, TikTok, history of his career. See, I don't think that any of these are going to hit. I don't think. I think this is a very scheduled speech. Like, he's got things written down that he's reading off of teleprompters. But I don't think that it's going to hit the same way that a unscripted Dan Clancy would. That's my guess. Hi, Drifty. Hi, Bad Gamer. Zach Watch so cheated? For some reason, pre-war reminds me of pre-war in the Fallout sense right now. Why does this keep moving? What is happening here? Why is it doing this? Why is this so loose? Hold on. Something is going on here. One second. Wait. One second. What's a video we can just watch here for like 3 seconds? This. Perfect. One second. I swear that wasn't intentional. I swear that was not intentional. It was just the one that was there. It worked out well, though. It did work out well. Hi, Anti-Lemons. How are you? I do unironically think he might even be, hit even more of them with a scripted 18-minute speech when surprise release. That's possible. I made it for the farm. Take a shot at bingo anyways. All right, we will. All right. Hi, FNA. Dan Clancy has gone too far sabotaging your microphone. It's true. All right, we're doing it. Hi, Dana. Welcome in, Dana. Nice to see you. Okay, we're going to do this one. I don't think it's going to hit VTuber, finding a friend, well, some of these might hit. Dan's travel schedule is not going to come up. Community will come up a lot. Let's increase that to 6. Foundation, let's decrease that to 3. He's kind of gotten rid of that. Let's decrease self-promo to 2. Magic, let's just say one-time magic. He stopped saying the magic. Well, no, he might say the magic at Twitch again. Let's do it X2. Guest star, 3 mentions of AI, multi-streaming TikTok, collaboration, Kaisenet, finding a friend. All right. Shuffle. Oh, wait, we need, well, that's not going to be our free one. What are we going to use for... How will his speech change for the Saudis? Yeah, I don't know if it will or not. Influence. There is our influence. Influence. That's going to be our middle square here. Shuffle. And then send it out to the chat. Send to chat. There you go, everybody. There you go. And let me do a little pin action here. /pin. Play. Clancy. I'm intentionally spelling this wrong, by the way. Clancy bingo. Oh, well, that didn't work at all. That made things go crazy. Oh, that's not good. Well, let's try again. /pin. Play. Clancy bingo. There. Ulination, thank you very much for the 10 stream streak. We appreciate a double digit around here. Hell yeah. Did anyone share the 24-hour Hitch gold emote drop and Hitches until May in Discord? I don't think so. I don't think that they did. Okay. All right. Let me pull up my own card here. Okay. It's populating. Let me move this over here and make that a little smaller so I can see it. And perfect. And let me turn it on. There we go. All right, cool. All right, game on. Let's do it. Let's rewind. All right, here we go.
A lot of you are kind of familiar with Twitch, but some of you probably are not deeply familiar with Twitch. So some of what I'm going to try to do today is just...
Oh, wait, he was wearing one of his 3 shirts. I only saw this one. He is wearing it. He is wearing the banana one. I call it the banana one. Fuck. Damn it. I didn't see it. I thought it was a different shirt. Oh, Christ. Well, that happened. It is what it is. You know what would really elevate Streamlabs? A bingo functionality. It would be a good idea. That would be a good idea.
Some of what I'm going to try to do today is just give you a sense of what is happening on Twitch, okay? And what is unique. And
wait, maybe he's not reading. Oh, no, he's got to. He's got a little clicker.
Happening in live streaming overall. So live streaming, in many ways, it's bigger than it's ever been.
But not in viewership and not on Twitch. It's bigger than it's ever been, just not on Twitch.
So live streaming
Kaisenet
started way back in 2007 with Justin TV.
I feel the shirt option is punching down at someone afflicted with obvious fashion handicap. Yes and no. It is, but it isn't. And the reason why I'll say it is, but it isn't is because it's Dan Clancy. You can't punch. I mean, you should punch down on that.
Okay, and at that time, he called it life casting. And it's been around throughout.
By the way, I hate to say this. But I think they almost need to bring back the idea of life casting as like a marketing thing for the platform. I think that it could actually be a good marketable way to describe, especially like just chatting in IRL, that people might understand and be like, oh, Yeah, I'm interested in like when you describe it. Let's say you're trying to get somebody who is 23 in college, and like, well, are you doing any life casting? And they're like, no, I really only just do like studying, and then I go to class, and then I go home. It's like, well, like the studying could be content that you could share. It may help you with some other people are going to be studying the same thing. It could actually help. Like I do think that there's like a marketability to the idea of life casting. You gotta think about that a little bit more. I passed before. Yeah, I Justine for sure.
Social media. But really in the last year or so, it's sort of having this resurgence. And I want to talk some about why that is. So as humans, all of us yearn for connection with other human beings. There's this word community.
Oh, community. Write it down. How many do we have? We need to get 6 of those. Somebody's got to keep track of all dimensions of community, because we need 6. That's one community.
That we use a lot, but I actually think a lot of times when we use the word community,
okay, that's 2.
We actually don't know what that means, and that's one thing that I'm going to talk about some in terms of what really gives that sense of belonging and that sense of community.
Okay, all right, 3. That's a remarkable thing to include community 3 times in a single sentence.
And of course, social networking started as something that really helped connect you with other people and helped you feel connected with more people across the globe.
Okay.
But in many ways today, social media is actually a little bit antisocial.
Hell yeah, anti-social media. All right. One on the board. We got one on the board.
Sitting and swiping on your phone, it doesn't connect you to other people. Sometimes it makes you feel a little more isolated and alone. And I think this is one of the reasons that live is sort of having a resurgence right now.
I don't understand what he means by a resurgence. I don't get what he means by that.
When someone's live, there's a true authenticity there where you know it's real. And people are yearning for that sense of reality and connection so that they...
Hi, Rubo. I'm confused as to what he's speaking about. Which... Welcome in, Rubo. Nice to have you here.
A huge raid.
Silly. Thank you very much for the raid. Silly's feet are stomping in. Hell yeah. Welcome in. Oh, there you go. Okay. Chef got it. Chef Rossi got it. They needed the second one. They had a character limit. Ran out of data. Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. Thank you so much for the raid, Silly. I do appreciate it very much. Hope you had a great time on your stream. What were you getting up to today? Nice to see you. Welcome in. Everybody coming in from Silly's stream. Welcome. My name is Zach. The things typically what we're doing here is we're watching what Dane Clancy is doing, which may or may not be, probably not, making this very clear. He may have been secretly in Dubai for a secret meeting with the Iranians before the war started. It is possible, not likely. I'm not saying that it did happen, but I'm not saying that it didn't happen. You never know with these days. He may have, anyway, sorry, that's stupid. I'm dumb. Welcome to the first impression to my stream. Not a good one. But typically what we are doing here is we are talking about what's going on in the creator space, the economy, the industry of live streaming, and everything related to creators and content on this platform and elsewhere. And again, I hate prefacing, like describing the stream as that, because it's significantly more silly and fun than that. That sounds like stuffy and boring. But anyways, Dan was there for the Dubai chocolate. Whatever happened to the Dubai chocolate? I feel like there's no more of it anywhere out there now. It was popular for like 2 years. Now it's gone. But hi, Chef Rossi. Hi, GSD. Welcome. Super Iced. Welcome. You guys have some good names here. These are decent names. Ruby, welcome. Falling forever, but this particular talk caught my eye. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, Dan doesn't say anything out of pocket again. Well, you never know. Patriarchs, welcome. Vixie, nice to see you. Those are good. That's a good emote. That's actually a really cool emote. I like Zach Bussy, Canadian cunt. Don't listen to that. Hi, Patrick. Not today. Today is anger. Exactly. Hi, big ass zombie. Hi, Richie. It went to Dubai. Bye. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, Richie, it's time for you to leave now. You can't make. Okay. Whatever. I like Magic before it was cool. Hell yeah. TMR, welcome. People would realize it was just chocolate, but no, isn't there something in it? Don't they cut it with like almonds or something? Isn't it just like nut chocolate? That sounded weird. That doesn't sound right. My Cold Stone had a sign for it, but I didn't check. Okay. Use all the nuts in the region to make that stuff, and now pistachios. That's what it is. Bad chocolate passed once people realized that they were just normal chocolates anyway. Yeah, that is true. That's fair. Yeah, ground pistachios. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. Anyways, welcome in. If you guys are new here, if you guys want to hang out for a little bit, we are currently playing Dan Clancy Bingo, which, as you can see at the top here, is a game that we play anytime that we listen to Dan Clancy. If you don't know who Dan Clancy is, he's the CEO of Twitch. Shocking. Unbelievable, right? You would look at him and go, that guy manages this entire social media platform. He doesn't look ready to manage a Walmart. The Walmart department, the produce section. But yeah, evidently, that is who runs this platform and doesn't know how to keep a schedule. They're supposed to do patch notes on... As an example, Dan Clancy will be one of the first to say, hey, a very important thing to do as a streamer is to be consistent with your schedule. Set your schedule and remain consistent with it. And then they have this thing that they do as a platform that they call patch notes, which every single third Wednesday of the month, they go live and they talk about things that they're doing on the platform. Well, today they decided it's a Tuesday and it's a second Tuesday of the month, not even the third Tuesday, so it's not even a day off. They said, you know what, we're doing patch notes now. So that gives you some indication of the sinking ship that is being captained by this guy. Can't even keep to a simple schedule of a Wednesday, third Wednesday of the month. Seems crazy to me. It's literally whatever. Jesus Christ. There you go. It's not punching down because he's supposed to be managing a streaming platform. He should be able to manage dressing himself. True, exactly. Look, they're ahead of the ball. Surely it's a good thing. Maybe. Hi, VK. Maybe they're taking next week off on holiday. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it... How far do I want to go with this joke? I was going to make a joke about how those CEOs went to the billionaires went to related to the Titanic hitting the thing and then go down to the I don't think I want to make that joke. I think that's too far. Yeah, I think it's too far. Bring Ray Paul back. Exactly. All right, let's continue. Thank you again for the raid. I really do appreciate it. Terrible first impression for everybody who's come here. I understand if you leave right away. I get it. You can literally cannot punch down on CEOs and billionaires. Basically impossible. I agree with you. Hi, Falcor. Zach is swinging today. Well, sometimes you got to do it. You got to keep these people honest because otherwise they lose their sense of self. I don't know.
For that sense of reality.
Perfect first impression. Okay, great. Fantastic. Very representative. Okay, great. Oh, Falcor, thanks so much for the 20 stream streak. That is also very impressive. 20 of them. Hell yeah. Tomorrow's the third Wednesday, but I think they're going to be busy filing their taxes. Tomorrow's not the third Wednesday. Oh, it is the third Wednesday. Okay, I'm less... Well, now I'm less mad about it, but still equally mad. Anyways. Hi, Hagarth. Hey, everyone. Thank you, Zach, for your short on the TOS update. Hagarth, my pleasure. I'm glad that it helps. He's a CEO. Stay mad? Okay, I will. Now you need to do a retraction? No. I'm not a journalist. That's the nice part, TNMR. I don't consider myself a journalist. I will have this debate over and over again. I don't consider myself a journalist. I consider somebody whose content is news and things that are topical, but not a journalist. Not a journalist. It just so happens that it's not the third Tuesday. Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be third Wednesday. See, Chef Rossi understands this. Chef Rossi gets this. Great. He is a journalist. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, chat. Nope. Don't listen to Salty. Salty has no idea. Salty is not in a position where he would know anything. This is a feedback media, not journalism. I agree. Exactly. Fuck them ethics. Exactly. All right, let's go. Let's get back to this. Let's get back into this.
And connection, so that they know, oh, this is a real person, and it's not just about the person you're watching. It's also about the person that you're watching with. And I think this is one of the reasons that live is starting to have a resurgence.
What does he keep saying? I don't understand why. Stop. I don't know why he keeps saying a resurgence. What does that mean by resurgence? Like, what does he mean by that? Let me go to Sully. What does he mean by a resurgence? What resurgence is he seeing here? Because I see this, the pre-pandemic, then I see the pandemic shoot up, and then I see what has been a period of flatness, and then I see what is very clearly a decline. I don't know what he means by resurgence. It's not like we're having any more people stream. It's not like there is more viewers watching. What do you mean by a resurgence? There's no point here that has exceeded any point here. But again, I guess our definitions are very different. His is Hopium CEO speak. Mine is reality. So I guess that kind of makes sense. Line only go up. It is manifesting resurgence. Well, I mean, hey, good for him, I suppose. Hope if he's able to drag it along into a better place, great. But it seems more like he's dragging it down with all these bad decisions.
Thinking, how can I be authentic and out?
Can we add all the streaming platforms in there? We could. I guess you could theoretically do that, but that's not his. I mean, his space overall is in decline. It's not doing well. So if the entire space is growing, let's just say the entire space is growing, then that actually accentuates the negative of him and his platform and his decision making, because everything else is growing, but Twitch is declining. That doesn't make any sense. So why would you even bring that up as like a point of hey, the entire space is growing? It's like, well, okay, great. So how much are you growing? Well, we're not. We're not. So you wouldn't bring that up. You wouldn't bring that up.
Can I authentically
losing relative market share? Streaming market is growing. Yes, but again, even in that situation, why would you as the CEO say that? That dude is an idiot. No offense to the dude, but you're an idiot. They're a bunch of liars. I think this platform are a bunch of scheming, lying, manipulative pieces of shit. All right, I stand. I don't remember what the context was of that, but I still somewhat agree with it.
Connect with my fans. And one of the things that it does is it turns fans into a community.
Oh, what number is that? Community number what? What are we on? 4?
Okay. And that's really where Twitch, I think, has a unique difference.
Okay.
Because everyone does live streaming these days. I sometimes joke that I'm going to find out that McDonald's is starting a live streaming platform, because it seems like it's everywhere. But even with all these other people coming into live streaming, Twitch has remained the largest place for live streaming. And if you think of who are the live streaming stars, your list is always driven by people that started on Twitch and that are on Twitch.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that Twitch is built to get you to pull up a chair and
stay for a while.
For our most loyal users, they will sit there and spend 3-4 hours a day.
Oh, wow. They just really make things. Oh, okay. Never mind. For our most loyal viewers. Okay. Hold on.
25 days a month. And that time that they spend builds connections with each other. So when you watch live streaming on other platforms, you're just swiping, and you're programmed to swipe to the next thing. That's what you do when you're watching everything else. And newsflash, sometimes live streaming gets a little boring, okay? Because you're just hanging out and doing all sorts of stuff. And when it gets a little boring, swipe, okay? And if you're watching it on YouTube...
Hi, Kelky, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? Was I thinking about you yesterday? Like, seems like it's time for a Bussy stream soon? Hell yeah. Hi, Kelky. Nice to see you. Long time no see. They're lurking in on the lurkers? Yes, they are. They are.
You might look down to the bottom right and see some related videos. And I often joke and say there's like some candy down there that says, hey, come check me out.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything.
Next thing you know, you click and you're off going somewhere else. On Twitch, all we do is live streaming. And what ends up happening is community forms.
Community. We're going to get the community check here very fast.
People watching. And as I said earlier, people talk about community all...
Oh my God. Okay, well... All right, we hit that one out of the park. That one was easy. I think we should still keep a community tracker, though. He did also mention YouTube. You're right. He did. He did. That one. I'm tempted to give the Kai Cenat because Kai Cenat was mentioned in the past here, but we'll hold off for a second.
All the time on social network. However, for me, the foundation...
Actually, you know what? I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it. It was in the background. It was in the background.
Foundation of community.
Oh, foundation! Okay, foundation count 1. We need 3 of those. We got a foundation hit and a community. So community 7, foundation 1.
Is co-experiencing something together. When you go back in time, community, of course, is...
Oh my God. 8.
Foundational to...
Oh, foundation! All right, 2. 8 and 2. Hell yeah. This is going well. This is going well.
Us as human beings and how we've survived and lived in this world.
Sure.
But all of the real world communities we're a member of...
9.
All are around your church, your school, music, these other experiences where you are synchronously interacting with other people. Mm-hmm. And the foundation of a community...
Oh my God, we got it. I can't believe that. I'm legitimately shocked. We got that in literally 3 sentences.
Community is over...
Oh, in 10 communities.
Time, you eventually build this bond, and it's tiny bit by tiny bit by tiny bit. So to really have a sense of belonging, you need to invest the time. It doesn't just come by spending a little bit of time. And that's why on Twitch it's so different, because people are staying there for a long time. And that's the...
I feel like he said the exact same sentence 15 times in a row. Like, this just sounds like a thesaurus of the original thing that he said, is that people come and they spend some time. And then they spend a lot of time together, because it's all about the time that you spend that creates those bonds, that creates the community. And the foundation of that community is the bonds that you make over the time that you spend. Because when you spend that time, the community foundation is built. You should watch Aureus's video and memes.
Thanks for gifting a sub.
Desert Ice, thanks for gifting a sub to Twitch CEO Goons. What the hell is this?
Look inside ourselves, we find the opportunity to live our lives the way we want most for ourselves.
No, this guy's an idiot.
What?
I'll kill you.
Listen to how he talks. He's not actually saying anything. He's just using hypnotic patter.
What?
He's slowed his speech down to about 75% normal talking speed, and he's emphasized a few key words. It's just a way to make yourself sound deep when you're not really saying anything.
Okay, yeah. This is very topical. This is very topical.
Most of us spend our entire lives partially hydrogenated corn oils. But when we take the time to riboflavin, we often find that we've been yellow number 3 the whole time.
Yes.
So true. Yeah. It's gibberish. This is exactly what Dr. Trudansky was talking about.
Dr. Trudansky? Most people's conclusions are based on their positions, but really, it's our positions that should be based on our conclusions.
Whoa. See?
He said
that's
nothing.
also a rhetorical device. It's called anti-metaboly. He mirrored his phrase, switching two words around in order to sound smart. Come on! No, it's true. You can do it with anything. Listen to this. If you
Wait, he is doing that. The foundation of community. Oh my god, he's doing it. You're exactly. Oh my god. Wait.
want love to be a part of your life, you must first make life a part of your love.
That is so wise.
No, it's not. It doesn't actually mean anything. You're taking the wrong lesson from this, guys. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a soup of empty buzzwords. God, you guys are such classic set alphas. You know that?
What's a set alpha?
As opposed to set omegas who are kind, intelligent, brave, and sensitive, set alphas are compassionate, brilliant,
Hi, Undead.
courageous, and passionate.
Oh my god, that's me.
Well, they've got my number.
Set a reminder to never stop talking about how I'm set alpha.
Actually, that's just an appeal to tribalism.
Oh, come
That's just something that's set
Ashley,
omega.
I need one.
No, listen, Myers-Briggs,
Bits.
type A, type B. They all play off how good it feels to be given your personality.
All right, we get it.
A horse to death, or whatever the saying is.
Yeah, I agree. All right, back to this. Go to the drama college humor. The end is fun. Oh my god, I gotta watch the end. Well, now I can't. Now I'd have to watch the entire thing again. Death to a horse? Yes, exactly. Or horse to a death. If you lead a horse to water, it will drink. But if it doesn't drink, then you even have a horse. All right, let's rewind.
Because people are staying there for a long time. And that's the difference between having fans and having a community.
Number 11. What am I clicking on here? What have you linked me here? How do I speed it?
The opportunity to live our lives.
Oh my god, there's no player here. God damn it.
Now, Twitch started with gaming. And the interesting thing of
Gaming has been foundational to Twitch. Oh god. Oh my god. It's just the patterns here are just ridiculous.
Actually, it started with live casting. It wasn't gaming. And then when they switched to gaming, it sort of took off. And that's because gaming solved some of the problems that live streaming has, that as we've reached more scale, now I don't think those problems exist as much anymore. So first...
What's the problem? Wait, what's the problem? What is the problem?
Some of the problems that live streaming has, that as we've reached more scale, now I don't think those problems exist as much anymore.
What's the problem, though? What are you even saying here?
And that's because gaming switched. The interesting thing of, actually, it started with live casting. It wasn't gaming. And then when they switched to gaming, it sort of took off. And that's because gaming solved some of the problems that live streaming has, that as we've reached more scale, now I don't think those problems exist as much anymore.
Just a complete hanging point that had no start to it at all. Okay. Yes, where the problems were. Yes, exactly. Have you ever considered, Aureus, that perhaps the problems were the ones that were not even there in the beginning? High Pirate Software. That is the strangest thing I've ever heard him say. Well, okay, we've listened to him a lot. We have listened to him a lot. But yeah, that is definitely on the list of very unusual things. Hi, Mahalo. Are we listening to CEO Word Salad? We are, yes.
So first, gaming gave you something that you could do for a longer period of time. Because as I said, to build community, it takes time.
12.
Okay? We're all listening here. We're not going to form a community here.
13.
This won't be a community.
14.
Okay? First of all, we're going to be here for 20 minutes. Second of all, all these people aren't interacting with each other. Everyone's looking at me. What happens on Twitch when someone's live is chat's talking to each other. And after a while, they get to know each other. And when someone hasn't been there for a while and they show up, they're like, hey, where you been? Now, I'm going to age myself a little here, but I sometimes refer to an...
Dan, sorry. Dan, you do that to yourself. You do that to yourself. You're not going to age yourself unless he starts bringing up like the telegraph. His first friend they communicated via telegraph. Otherwise, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised to go, oh shit, that guy's 60.
Old TV show Cheers, which some people here may know, and
okay, that's actually youngifying him in context of when that show was on.
There's a guy Norm, and Cheers was.
But by the way, I'm sorry. You cannot. I lose my mind listening to him speak. I really am brain broken at this point. Who the hell goes to Dubai to talk about Cheers as a reference that anybody's going to fucking know? What? If you're speaking to an American audience of a bunch of 30-year-olds, even then I'd be like, dude, you have to get a new reference. Talk about Friends, maybe. Talk about something a little bit more current. It cannot be that you're going to Dubai to talk about Cheers. Okay, whatever.
Place where everybody knows your name.
I don't know what to say.
Go into the bar and go, hey Norm.
Trek came out a quarter century ago. Yeah, yes.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, I'm so mad. God damn it, Dan Clancy just drives me fucking insane with his stupid ideas.
Yeah, my brain is broken when it comes to Clancy at this point. My brain is really broken. Hi, call leader. Thought he was older. He is. He's 62. His birthday was recently. I forget how old he is. I think he was 61. I think he just turned 62.
And we all yearn for that in our lives. We all yearn to go into a place where everyone knows your name and you feel connected. And so gaming gave something that you could sit there and do for long periods of time. And that then built community.
What was the number I was at? 14 or 15? You practically have a whole category on blurb of Clancyisms at this point. Oh, Jesus.
And it also gave you stimulus, because a game gives you a lot of stimulus. And then you would react to that stimulus.
It really is. Oh my God.
Now, it is interesting, when Twitch started, Twitch was dominated by what I will call our entertaining gamers. If you go back in time, Ninja, Tim the Tap Man.
What? No, what? So, dude, no, it wasn't. What are you talking about? Tim the Tap Man started streaming in like 2017, I think. What? If you're going back in time, you have to talk about Shroud and Summit and Lyric. How do I go back further than that? Okay, but it was later than I was thinking that it was. It was later than I was thinking that it was. Co-Carnage. Ninja's maybe a good one, but even then, I don't even think that Ninja is necessarily a great example of that. Oh my God. Soda Poppin', yeah.
First and foremost.
So, okay, he did mention Soda Poppin'.
Gamers, and they're very entertaining. If you look today.
Actually, here, I know how we can take a look at the originals. Oh, no, I don't. Kind of, but not really. I think my data started in 2015 as well. Yeah, this starts in 2015, so this isn't going to help. Lyric, Soda Poppin', Summit. I'm a Cutie Pie is a good one. Voy Boy. But like, there's so many. Again, we're in 2015 here. There's so many. Dan's Gaming is a good one. Crow Carnage, there he is. Arteezy, Double Lift, Castro. Again, we're in 2016. Wreckful, probably a good one in there for sure. But like, if you're mentioning Tim the Tatman and Ninja, their popularity really grew right before, during the DayZ days, H1Z1, H1Z1, DayZ. But there was definitely they kind of were like their popularity and name recognition came significantly later. But anyways, maybe I'm pulling hairs. Pulling hairs? Pulling at straws. One of those two. I never watched any of these people. Used to watch him. Goes to show I don't know any of the big names. Yeah.
Twitch is much more entertainers that game.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. He is doing it. He's doing, I don't call them gamers, I call them people who game. Oh my God, he's actually still sticking with that.
They don't all game. It's gone much bigger than gaming. But for the big ones, they do game some. But first and foremost, they're entertainers. If you think of someone like Kai Cenat.
Oh, we got an actual Kai Cenat reference. Okay. Hi, Demon Queen.
He's a modern day Kevin Hart. He's an entertaining person. And he's very authentic when he's out there. And when you think of many of our top streamers, you think of someone like Queso. Again, he games, but really the star of that is him, okay? And that is also one of the key differences when it comes to Twitch. And as you're a creator, since I suspect there are many creators here that maybe have dabbled a little bit in live streaming.
Is Queso a gamer? Queso is a person who games. He is not a gamer. We don't use that terminology here.
In general, live streaming isn't the platform where it's easy to grow your audience.
True.
That's because people are spending more time there. However, it's where you build an emotional connection with that audience.
Emotional affinity even?
So right now, I want everyone here to think for a second.
Can we get emotional affinity? Ooh, if he just mentions the word affinity, we're counting it, by the way. That does count.
About somebody you like to watch on TikTok. And now suppose they stop making content for a week or two. Do you even know it? No, you don't. The emotional connection
TikTok
is with the platform. On Twitch, when people come and watch, they may watch 5 to 10 streamers in a week. When you watch TikTok, you're probably exposed to 2,000. YouTube maybe 500. When you watch,
oh wow, he got a good nod there.
5 to 10
agreement.
People, you build that connection.
Would you say that connection in this community though?
And now it's hard to build an audience that will spend that time with you. But once you build it, it's yours. Because now that emotional connection is not just swiping to the next creator and the next creator and the next creator. So one way you have to think about, there's one thing about just looking at bigger and bigger numbers, about how many people and how many thumbs up and how many likes and how many everything. But that misses the depth of the impact you're having on people. And for those of you that are creators, many of you, while obviously you love the fact that this is funding your life, but really,
I think we have to start adding funding your life. I think we have to start adding funding your life. Because he's been saying that a lot recently. I think you can tick off any mention of any other streamer. Oh, true. Yep. Because he mentioned Queso. Yep.
Motivated you when you started was for people to listen, right? And when you first started, you didn't have a gazillion followers. But you
missed opportunity to say billion.
You had something to say. And you loved that someone was listening to you. And when you're live, you get that direct feedback from them. You get that applause of the clouds. The emotes go up, the chat goes up, and that visceral feeling of making a difference in the world happens. Rather than just looking at a number and saying, wow, I feel really good. I got so many thumbs up or likes or whatever. And so now Twitch has gone from gaming into all sorts of stuff, okay? IRL and just chatting, huge part of Twitch now.
Lizard.
That's Darthroni. That's Darthroni. Hi, Darthroni. Welcome in.
And for just chatting, that's just a creator spending time with their community. And IRL, that's someone out in the
IRL. That counts.
world, doing something in the real world and experiencing the world.
Hi, Duder.
And their
Welcome.
community is
Hi, Kate. Funding your life sounds like a fun way of saying having multiple income sources because you're being crushed living under late stage capitalism. Kind of true. Kind of true.
experiencing it with them.
Oh, community. That's 17. 17? 16? 17?
So this is Streamer University, which is Kai Cenat's one of his most recent things that he did. And he gathered a bunch of creators together, and then he had the creators streaming the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had all these smaller communities watching it. The one thing I find interesting about here, oftentimes, and I think we'll see more next year and the next year, when you're at events like this, people streaming it so that everyone can be seeing it from different angles. And streaming.
See, that's a fascinating thing. That's a fascinating thing. Do we want to live in that world? This is a question that I do legitimately ask myself and I don't have a good answer for this yet, because it doesn't increasingly seem like the way in which the world is going is that everybody is going to be creating content all the time. And I think that's going to be by nature of, well, as you mentioned before, late stage capitalism. Everything has to be content if you want to have a chance to survive this thing. And I say that sounds a little bit more pessimistic than I'm intending for it to sound. But that is the amount of content that I see now on Twitter or X and on TikTok and on Instagram and on YouTube is so much first person meta classes or a IRL content that's being shot from the perspective of the person that I'm not necessarily, again, in public, there's no, in a lot of places, not everywhere in the world, but in a lot of places, there's no reasonable expectation of privacy in public. But it's not that people are just going out and going about their day and doing things and it turns into content. They're actively trying to create content. They're forcing the issue. They're doing things that actually push it into, hey, this is going to be they're clip farming. Okay? And one of the things that I think is particularly fascinating about that is that if there is one place in the world that you would, if you want to see this vision come to life in its most extreme form, it's TwitchCon. One of the TwitchCons that just occurred last year in San Diego, which I think is, because again, this is a streaming platform. They only do streaming. They don't do anything else. And so I think that that's a fascinating comparison to the point that, hey, they're trying to introduce new rules because people were annoyed. People were uncomfortable. The forced content filming that occurred in TwitchCon San Diego 2025 has forced Twitch's hand to be like, hey, we have to do something about this because it was a bad experience for a lot of people. And so they introduced, again, we didn't have a chance to talk about this because I was moving when it occurred, but IRL streaming at TwitchCon has new rules. IRL streaming is a big and exciting part of Twitch, and we've seen creators take the format to new heights. As is always the case when streaming or making content, showing consideration for those around you is important. At TwitchCon Rotterdam, we've introduced a dedicated IRL policy to make this type of streaming more enjoyable for everyone and to make our guardrails even clearer. Some highlights of the policy include streamers and attendees must keep pathways clear, including aisles, walkways, staircases, stairways, entrances, exits, and emergency routes, which makes sense. Streaming isn't allowed in areas with no recording, no streaming signage, which historically, the only places for that were the partner lounge. And then I think there was maybe like a quiet, spaces that allowed people to kind of like de-stress from the world around them. So I think that's maybe a second place where they allowed it. Attendees should follow TwitchCon staff instructions, including requests to stop streaming or relocate. And we're introducing, and this is the one that I'm actually very intrigued to see how this plays out. We're introducing lanyards that attendees can wear to signal their comfort with being on camera. If you're wearing this lanyard, so presumably it's a opt-out system rather than an opt-in, which does somewhat make sense, it means you prefer not to be prominently featured or recorded directly. For those IRL streaming, don't interview or approach someone wearing the designated lanyard or who verbally says they don't want to be on camera. So I find that to be a fascinating dichotomy that we're currently existing in, where for the platform to succeed, for Twitch to succeed, and to get additional eyes on the platform, it actually sort of has to lean into the obnoxious nuisance content, because that's the thing that gets people to click. That is the clickbait of live content. If you can't make a video for TikTok, a VOD-based video for TikTok or YouTube, which people do that, in order to get people to watch you on stream on Twitch, if they're into that kind of content, again, it does get a lot of clicks, it does get a lot of engagement, because it is clickbait. The only version of that for Twitch is literally live doing that content, which is why you've seen so many people that, especially on Kick, but also on Twitch, that have leaned into that content style, where the goal isn't to be a good person. The goal is to create content and to use anybody and everybody around you for that content purpose. And if somebody kicks you out of a restaurant or escorts you out of a store or whatever, it's not that you did anything wrong. It's that those people are assholes. And because people watch this content, people should call that store. People should try to find that person. People should try to harass them more and create more chaos because you kicked out the streamer that I was watching for no reason at all. And so it's a really interesting position that we currently live in the streaming space, where that is the thing that is probably going to gain the most attention, because it does kind of disrupt the norms of what people are used to, and it does create what is essentially clickbait that you can't do in a title or a description or a thumbnail for a live environment. You have to be that clickbait creator. And I don't know what that means for the future. Again, I've tried to figure this one out. Is like, if you want this world where everybody is streaming all the time and turning everybody else into each other's content, so we can see everybody's perspective, at the same time, the platform clearly knows, hey, we don't necessarily want that to be the case, because that leads to people having a bad experience. So if we know that this leads to people having a bad experience and we have to create rules at our convention around it, why at the same time are we like, hey, we want to lean into that? It's just one of those catch-22 situations that again, if I was in charge of Twitch, I don't have a good answer for that either. I don't have a good answer for that, because it clearly does drive people to click on things. But do we want to live in a world that's probably going there anyway? So do you try to stop? Like, I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. Hi, Rhode Island. Twitch on San Diego 2025 was a nightmare because of the clip farmers. Yeah. Streamers just like other streamers doing IRL content around them. Imagine how normies hate it. Exactly, silly. Exactly. And so, like, see, I have a lot of respect for people who like innovated the IRL streaming world, and that's people like Rekful and Ice Poseidon. Even though Ice Poseidon has all kinds of negatives around him, he did innovate that space. Soda Poppin' to some degree, Jake and Bake. There's just so many names that I'm going to forget them all. I'm not going to be able. I have that Three Stooges effect where everybody's trying to get through the door at once. Rob CD. I don't want to miss somebody, but anyways, you understand. There's just a lot of people that have innovated an entire format that now it's being taken to the clip farming era of things, and it's just, man, that would be, if we continue that side of it, I'd be like, this is actually contributive of an experience that gives people a chance to travel and look at things like I've watched a lot of IRL streamers. Like I haven't recently, but I watched a lot of Girl Hero streaming, and she'd go to like car meetups and coffee shops and local events, and it was kind of just cool to be sitting here doing work and then experiencing an event, or watching Jake and Bake travel around China, or yeah. Anyways, it's just those are like positive experiences where you do get to see something that you otherwise wouldn't. But that's not the dominant. Well, maybe it is. I don't think that it is. It's not the dominant content of where things are going. I think it's still somewhat up in the air. And I don't know how you approach that. I again, as CEO, it seems like, hey, we want to see the thing from everybody's angle, but but everyone can be seeing it from different angles. If everybody is doing it, who's watching? I don't know. It just gets to that thing of there's so many questions about this that I don't know where the IRL streaming outcome ends up being. To be honest, there won't be much of a change at TwitchCon EU. It already was pretty tame last year in the experience. Of course, I might be wrong. No, you're right, TMR. TMR, the TwitchCon EU is a smaller convention a smaller convention. I almost said overall. And for whatever reason, I mean, it's still there, but for whatever reason, most of the nuisance seems to come out of America. And that's a kind of a funny thing to say, but maybe there's some sort of level of American exceptionalism, and they've grown up on it, that like being a nuisance, being a pest, is kind of like integrated into American culture. Where again, it does happen. I've seen people who the guy who died on the French stream. Like I've seen people that do that kind of content, that kind of negative clickbait content. But it's assuredly a thing that is dominated by American creators. And so not a lot of them have passports, and so they're not able to travel outside of the United States, and so they end up at San Diego. Yeah. Doesn't try to shut the website down. Wait, the entire one? Damn. They're setting up a foundation to create community. Hi, Purple Blur. Unless you're outside of anywhere, people definitely still expect it. Yeah. I think my problem with TwitchCon EU was that the IRL streamers. Oh, okay. Hi, Kitty. America out here catching strays. It's true. I don't think that that's out of line to say being loud and obnoxious is often rewarded in American culture. Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, whenever I think about like the streaming space in America, it's often a reflection of the culture that has existed on TV for 20, 30 years. Whereas I still find that a lot of, and I think it's maybe an example of that is like eBuy's event, or oh my god, I'm forgetting his name now. The French guy who does Squeezy, who does the Formula Racing one. When the European communities do big streamer events, they're like countrywide big events. Like they are industry setting events that everybody wants to attend and watch, and 40,000 people watch a soccer game of creators in a stadium in Paris, right? Those are like big events that people care about. But then if you do that here, it's kind of like a sideshow with like 10,000 people watching at home. Like it's just not, even though it's like a big event, it involves all these massive creators that theoretically should have a million people watching. It doesn't draw the attention outside because I think America and American culture is so dominated by big personalities and big events and flashy shows and WWE and sports, that all those things don't necessarily have the same level of impact that a big event like this does in Spain or France or Germany. So yeah, I it's just one of those interesting cultural differences that on why, or maybe why, again, I don't know why, but maybe why there's more interest in those big events across the pond, and at the same time, why there's not necessarily the same culture of big, obnoxious IRL streaming on like the base level of content creation on Twitch. And events also look like they're put on by high school. That is true. It's kind of a weird thing. It really is kind of a weird thing. Anyways, let's continue.
People streaming it so that everyone can be seeing it from different angles. And Streamer University was designed as a university to train streamers, but really the fun part...
I don't think it was actually designed to train streamers. I think that it was just a collaborative kind of streaming event.
Was putting a lot of creative people together and see what entertaining stuff they did. Okay.
Somebody linked a video recently that did offer a pretty intriguing alternate perspective on the event. Where is that? I did watch it, and I was just like, okay, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's a different perspective. Because, again, I'm somebody who really liked Streamer University. Not because, like, there wasn't a ton of, like, direct learning, but it was intriguing to say, hey, here's a controlled environment where everybody is a streamer, and everybody walking in knows that they're going to be a streamer. Do of it what you will. Create content, have some fun, be entertaining. But it wasn't anything that would escape that realm to where it became a nuisance to other people. And what ended up occurring is there was a lot of fighting. There was some bad moments. There was a lot of, not a lot of, but there was like forced drama. And it just kind of, it was a petri dish of content creators, which really dramatically changes the outcome of what you would typically expect if one person is one place, when you have them all together and their only content is each other. It was an interesting video. If I can find it. Streamer University. I don't know who posted it or where they posted it. Feed. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna be able to find it. I thought it was all set up, controlling Mr. B's. No. It was not. I don't think that's entirely an LA thing. LA is pretty big. You'll find that in any major downtown city now. You need a streamer theme park. They all can go there and clip farm each other. True. But that's what TwitchCon ends up becoming. That is essentially that.
Music is being rethought of on Twitch. And it's not about people standing up and playing music. It's about musicians engaging with their audience and community. And they are
18?
actively creating music on Twitch, especially with hip hop and rap. So right now, Fred again, Septa, and Blackboy Max.
Septa? Sorry, let me listen to that again. Oh, God. If you had a Chinese robot last week, you could have asked it. I did buy a Chinese spy robot. I did. I think I turned off the voice element to it, but I'm supposed to be able to talk to it. I'm like, hey, robot.
Hip hop and rap. So right now, Fred again, Septa, and
Skepta is the name that he's looking for.
Blackboy Max are nominated for a Grammy of a song that they wrote while streaming.
Mm-hmm.
This is particularly happening with rap and
of
hip-hop because it's an improvisational art form. And more you have those creators that are creating content on Twitch Live. So this is in the studio. Blackboy Max creates content regularly on Twitch with other creators. We also see sports being...
Small takeaway here. They did not win the Grammy, by the way. They did not win.
Rethought. In the end, sports is all about community.
19?
People mistakenly think that sports is about seeing the world's best X play. No, it's all about saying...
World's best X play?
Think that sports is about seeing the world's best X play. No.
What does that mean, X play? Loudly inclusive. Hello. I have so many thoughts on music on Twitch and how Twitch has ignored that community, so him bringing it up is fascinating. Yeah, we've talked a little bit about it in the past as it relates to like the DJ program and the music category itself, which, I mean, let's just take a look at it. Let's see how they're doing. Right now. All-time stats. Okay, it's relatively stable. No major gains, no major losses over the course of a year and a half. Quite a loss here in October. I'm not sure what happened there, but it's all right. Let's take a look. Total hour. Okay, well, that's not necessarily... Okay, so this does bring in a little bit of additional context here. The number of hours has been on a steady increase, but the hours watched is not. This is average viewers, total hours watched per month. That's not increasing. Average channels is increasing to 239, peak of 248 at any given time in January 2026. Peak channels. Let's see here. What else we got? Let's then go to music. Oops. Music. This one I don't think is going to look... Yeah. This one does not look good. This one has been... I mean, you see a big drop-off here. This is when they introduced the DJ category. But even then, it has bled out from an average of about 10,000 right after to down to 8.5. They have definitely been dropping. Total hours watched per month is on the decline. Total hours streamed is relatively stable. Number of channels is also relatively stable. So there is just a decline in viewership here. But yeah. Yeah, EA Sports is in the game, true. I think he means athletes, but he had a stroke. Yeah, I don't know what he said there. The world's best X play?
No, people mistakenly think that sports is about seeing the world's best X play. No, it's all about saying, I'm a fan, you're a fan, it bonds us together. And more creators now are taking that, and the thing on the right here you see...
I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I fully agree. Number of people I talk to who don't even know Twitch as music, missed opportunity in my opinion. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I talked... I think that Twitch has a lot of opportunity to grow in spaces that it currently does not have enough... that it has a lot of creators, but it doesn't have the viewership to support. That's right. Opposite of that. The number of creators that exists on the platform is less than what it theoretically should be because there's a lot of potential talent that could create on this platform that aren't. And this is kind of why I wanted to look at like the Roblox campaign as an example of that, is that Roblox is a category, not that one, this one. They went in the deep end on Roblox to do this big promotion for it, $250,000 in prizes, a bunch of front page placements. The interesting thing about Roblox is that there are 2.3 million Roblox streamers, but practically nobody watching. It represents 12.3% of all streamers, but only 0.3% of total watch time. Now, the interesting kind of continuation of that is that the outcome wasn't positive. During that event, and this is coming back to music in a second here, and as it relates to content that is underserved, is they put all this time and effort and promotion into making this Bloxfest Roblox thing a success. It was for a month, and then it dropped right down further than where it was the previous month. So this is pre-Bloxfest 5.1 million watch hours, 6,900 average viewers, and 1.9K streamers. Then they do Bloxfest, front page, promotion, money, opportunities, and it does go up. And then literally the month afterwards, they lose 500,000 watch hours. They lose 700 streamers or viewers. They lose 300 viewers. I did that in backwards. Oh my God, I'm having a stroke. They lose 700 viewers. They lose 300 streamers. So one of the things that I think that I say here, even better idea to market the platform, increase sub-split, ad revenue. The more you make the platform financially lucrative or viable for creators, the more likely they are to talk positively, create more content, share more.
Realized how creepy Roblox was after the promotion.
It was really poorly timed. It was a really bad idea. The thing that I think that they should actually do and would actually get the platform to innovate is to take a look at, and this is why I don't really like how they frame a lot of their things is like, hey, we're going to be creating these grand things that'll work for everybody. Yeah, that's fine. But then you end up with things that are like, let's copy TikTok with this system. And it's like, that's not going to work. That's not how this platform, like you have to create things on Twitch for Twitch creators and Twitch viewers. You cannot look at TikTok for inspiration on what's going to work there will probably work here. Not going to happen. I guarantee, like, it's just not going to happen. I don't know why they don't understand that. Instead, what I would love for them to do is go, look, we need to stop considering games as a whole as a category. We have effectively seen that we probably are at peak in terms of consumption of gaming content and gaming viewership. Those have been dropping ever since the pandemic, since 2021. If you take a look at charts, I have them somewhere. I'll have to pull them up. I really should organize my shit better. But if you look at like gaming overall, it looks like this, right? So it looks similar to the music chart here in terms of viewership. If you look at just chatting, it kind of looks like this. If you look at IRL, it kind of looks like this. If you look at podcasts, it kind of looks like this. The drops on non-gaming content, music, are, with the exception of this one, but again, they've kind of ignored it, are not as extreme as the gaming drop-off. And one of the things that I would love to see them do is to take a look at these categories and go, how do we innovate specifically for IRL? How do we specifically innovate for DJs? How do we specifically innovate for podcasters, which I don't even see on this list? How do we specifically innovate for fitness and health creators? Because I think if they started to look at those categories and say, well, how can we make talk shows and podcasts more popular? Well, we probably have to have some kind of features that are leaning into talk shows and podcasts. Maybe we make it easier to sort videos here on being able to listen back to a podcast. Maybe we make it easy. Oh, we didn't even watch that, by the way. Maybe we make it easier to find another episode. Maybe we make it easier to, on a podcast channel, to link off to their Spotify. Like, find integrations that actually make it so that people want to go to that category with very specific niche functionality that applies to that category. I understand that innovation is expensive. I get that part of it. I understand that it's hard to innovate. Okay, or it's expensive to innovate, and you would rather innovate for large categories and everybody rather than individuals. But for Twitch, again, it's not like a platform like YouTube or TikTok or Twitter or Instagram. If you looked at these individual categories and you said, hey, we want smart, or we want creative ideas. Doesn't matter, small teams, creative ideas that impact 600 viewers. What can we do? What science and technology function can we create that would help those people to distribute, to make their content better for viewers? Like sports. How can we integrate live sports scores into, again, this is not necessarily a good idea as I'm saying it, but how can we integrate sport, like a sports ticker over top of chat for a game that the person is watching? How can we make that viable? How can we make DJs so you can like see the set list? And so it's like, hey, I want to listen to that, or what's that song? And it links off to Spotify or Amazon Music. For retro, how do we find like, hey, this is the game that I'm playing. And so like when you click on when you click on like Minecraft, you can get like additional information about the game and learn about it and write a review and find more on IGDB. But for retro, it's just a bunch of random games. How are you going to narrow that down to find the thing that you're actually looking for? Or if you are in a game and you're just watching quietly and you're a lurker, how do you learn about what the game is if you don't want to ask? Again, they wrote Mario RPG, which is a great game, by the way. Played on SES as a kid. Fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Still looks good today. Did they make a remake? But anyways, that's just what I would love to see if I was in charge of Twitch. I would say, hey, we are breaking down this idea of mass global ideas, and we're going to try to innovate small. We are going to look at our categories that have opportunity to grow. They have not been found by mainstream audiences yet, and we want to make it so that people want to watch on the platform. What can we specifically do for retro? What can we specifically do for music? What can we specifically do for co-working? What are these small things that don't apply to everybody, but just apply to the small? And what I think would end up happening is that as you saw some level of, again, it doesn't have to be a big investment because, again, you're dealing in small groups, right? The science and technology feature that you develop is not going to apply to everybody. Maybe you make it initially a desktop feature only. Like, I understand that there's a lot of circumstances here that they'll be like, well, it's costly because we have to make sure that it works on desktop and I understand that. I understand that. But I think what would end up happening is that through that innovation, by being creative and looking at categories that have been ignored, you would actually probably find some opportunities that then would apply to just chatting, that then would apply to gaming, that then would apply to the platform as a whole, that you could be like, hey, we found that this thing actually really, really works well for this community. And maybe there's a way to expand it outwards, because people are like, hey, I want to do more podcast content because of the fact that they make it easier to find your other podcasts. It's been a really good connection to go from my live stream to find the VOD for it, to write a review, to like, I think that there's opportunities there that Twitch has never really explored. The only one that they have explored in terms of a specific niche feature, well, technically there's two. There's obviously Twitch Sings, right? Twitch Sings was a platform innovation. Again, it was a costly one because they had to license the music. But this was their first game, a library of 2,000 songs. None of them are originals, all are covers. You can sing them solo or invite friends. That provided an opportunity to do networking, to do creative stuff. That provided a game element, that provided a chat element. There was a really interesting a story to this. Actually, let me go to this one. Move the blog. It's both a game and a streamer tool. Allows people to very easily generate content in their Twitch channels. But it provided a new innovation that did not exist. The second one is, actually, I think it might be in my graveyard. Esports. Versus, kind of, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for. No, this isn't it. Well, kind of. This was specifically for esports tournament where you could run your own esports tournaments on Twitch. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Twitch esports page. Directory. Here. Yeah. So this was another innovation that they had done. Again, a specific innovation for a type of content. This was for esports. It provided its own directory with unique features that showed you what was currently live, what games were upcoming, and it had a whole bunch of other features that were specific to esports. And while they did shut it down, because obviously maintaining all these features costs money and time, and if people aren't necessarily using it because there's been a decline in people watching esports content, the whole esports bubble kind of popped. But it provided opportunity to learn and innovate. And again, that's what I think that Twitch's biggest struggle is right now, is they're not innovating. They are copying things that may have worked 5 years ago. So I'm just literally just speaking out of my ass here, I guess. In the sense of I'm doing word salad myself. But that's the thing that I would love them to see. So things like music, things like podcasts, things like retro. I think there's so many opportunities to help make that content, provide unique features to that content that would make it easier, better for viewers, that would provide a different reason to watch, that then would make it a destination. Again, podcasting is right now one of the biggest things in the world, right? We've seen this many times, or everywhere over the last few years, is that podcasts are dominating. Oh, I got to sign up for my own newsletter. Shit. Patreon, 30% increase podcasts. Yeah. Podcasters earned $629 million in 2025, up 33%, as platform's biggest content category keeps growing. But Twitch doesn't have any features or function that would support podcasters. Podcasts and talk shows. And in a time where this category, everywhere else, whether that's Spotify or YouTube or Facebook or Patreon, every single other platform is seeing massive growth in podcasting, Twitch is declining. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. And so something is wrong with decision making, that they're not recognizing the opportunities as they are presenting themselves. And I think that's what's going to happen over the next 5 years, is they're still going to probably miss the opportunities that are coming ahead. Let's close this. Let's get back into this. They called exclusive pin in an email add-on. Yeah. The search function on Twitch feels ancient compared to YouTube. It is terrible. The retro problem itself is self-made, since almost every retro streamer chooses the retro category instead of the real game. Like every light simmer uses MS Flight Sim as a category. They re-released it on Switch. Did they? Ooh, that's interesting. Hi, Ghost. Can we have Zach opportunities counter? Fair. I do it too, by the way. I do it too. I know that I have mine. Could it be labeling, like people podcasting still, but not noticing that they will get better viewership in the just chatting category? Sure. Yeah, I definitely think that's a part of it. I just think that Twitch hasn't made any kind of compelling case on why you should stream your podcast. And quite frankly, I can't tell you what the compelling use case of streaming your podcast on Twitch is. And the reason why I say that is because, and so I'm going to kind of somewhat, I'm going to contradict myself here by saying that if you are doing a podcast, if you're recording it live, you end up ignoring the chat, right? You're just not paying attention to your chat. Like, I don't know if, again, I'm just going to pick a random podcast here. These guys. Okay, well, they're not live. Let me refresh. Okay, these guys.
Take on Silicon Valley than the HBO show Silicon Valley was. They have released The Audacity in 21 parts on TikTok on Sunday as a way to entice the TikTok generation to sample the show and then possibly subscribe to AMC Plus to keep getting more of them.
This is very astute, and there have been a lot of comps to this. For example, I remember...
Okay. So for a lot of podcasts, one of the reasons why a podcast is good is because it ends up being valuable in the long term. When you are interacting with somebody in a podcast format, you're focused in on that conversation and it's not distracted. The one of the values of live streaming is the interaction with chat, okay? And so in a situation where you're live and you're doing a podcast with somebody and you're having a great conversation, you're probably not going to respond to Timmy Two Tones, who's typing in the chat, say my name, please give me a shout out, please give me a shout out, please give me a shout out, right? And so that would be one of the reasons why you as a podcaster would probably not want to stream your podcast live, because A, you're not going to be getting the benefit of it, because the real benefit is interaction and engagement. And so that would be, I mean, I don't even need to be, that's why, okay? But for the platform, that seems like an opportunity to be like, hey, so we know that a podcast that's being recorded on our platform live is not going, it's essentially like watching a VOD, but it's going to be for the first time. Like you're hearing it live. You are getting advanced access to it before anybody else, because it is being recorded live before it's being distributed via YouTube or TikTok or Spotify or wherever. And so I think that there's opportunities there to be like, hey, how can we take advantage of that live engagement to be like, okay, on your stream, if you're in the podcast category, your chat will automatically have an ask feature that if somebody asks a question, it will be set aside so that you can actually take a look. Again, I'm just throwing ideas out there so that you can see what questions were asked during that live stream. Again, you're not paying attention to chat, but you can take a look at that. And maybe it has like a function that takes advantage of the whisper system to be like, hey, you asked this question, here's actually the answer, that you can then send to them automatically after the stream ends. Again, just trying to be innovative, just trying to be creative in terms of thoughts here. I don't know if that would functionally work, but things that add a layer of why should I watch this? Why should I watch this? Well, I can ask a question that they're then going to get back to me later on. And then I won't be able to do that on YouTube. I won't be able to do that on Spotify. So this might actually be the opportunity that I get to engage with a podcast as a recording after the fact. So again, just a random idea, top of my head. I don't know if that would functionally work or not. I have no data on it whatsoever. I'm just, that's what I think that this platform should do, is take a look at categories like talk shows and podcasts, because it is growing. Take a look at music. Find out what can we do specifically for these categories. How can we innovate for them that makes this a destination for creators to want to create and viewers to want to watch? Podcasts are more production content than a live Q&A kind of thing. I agree, Pass Before. I agree. Hi, Spike. They always have a lot of followers and are partnered, but 7 viewers, usually the case. Say my name as a podcast. You can't mention chat because listeners would be irritated. Exactly. For sure. For sure. I was getting done talking about the knock thing, and you kept trying to knock their channel. Yes, exactly. The fan of podcast, I tune in for a pre-show, and the parts that are recording that are outtakes that get edited out, maybe a Q&A at the end. Exactly, for sure. See, I do think that there's opportunities here, but there's my opportunity counter. But it does require that you think outside of the box. You cannot be, and this is no offense to anybody who worked at Facebook or YouTube, you cannot come to this platform as a staff member and be like, oh, we're just going to do the thing that worked on YouTube or TikTok or Twitter or Instagram, and we'll do that here. Not going to work. Not going to pan out. Tell you that right now. It just won't. This is a very different audience. This is a very different type of creator. It's a very different type of viewer. So leave those past experiences at the door when you walk in at 350 Bush and go, I know nothing about social media. Let me try to be creative and think about how to actually come up with something new, because that's where Twitch thrives. You go back to Twitch's rise to success. It's because of innovation. It's because they listened passionately to the people. I mean, look at all of Twitch's original staffers. They were all people who came from the community. They were all broadcasters. They were all mods. They were all actively engaged community members, and they ended up getting hired at Twitch. Back into this. You could make the same argument for politics on stream. You want to engage with the chat, but you never want to get one guy to derail the pacing of your stream. That is true. That is true. That is kind of true. But yeah, like it would seem to me that there's probably a play for political content to be able to, I mean, you do have the poll functionality, right? So you can actually do like live polling on what people are thinking on specific issues. And I guess that's up to the creator to implement. But how can you, like, what ways can you better introduce that? What ways can you better integrate that into the content? What ways can you add political value to people who want to watch political content? Hi, Angie. Hi, Goof. Here's something that would be useful. Being able to put channel point redeems into folders so they can be quickly turned off or on in batches based on what types of streams you're having. Want to do a podcast? Usually means disabling the redeems. That sounds, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep, for the creator side, for sure. For sure. I mean, I still can't believe that we don't have the ability to do batch emotes. One of the, like, a core function of this platform is that people switch their emotes depending on the holiday, whether it's Christmas or Halloween. Those are kind of the two main ones. People switch their emotes. I do it. They go from a regular guy to a guy with a pumpkin in his hand with my little love emote to a guy wearing a Santa hat. And yet you have to do those manually, one at a time. It's like, why? Why is that a thing? How come I can't just have a collection that I can apply? Oh, gotta do it all individually. Twitch has conceded emote stuff to a 7TV. Yeah, it's possible. And that's a real shame. Yeah. Hi, Elliot. Damn, did I miss patch notes? So did I. So don't worry. So did I. They did it on a random Tuesday. And I missed it as well. So yeah, it's dead to me. It's dead to me now.
GP Explorer, where Squeezy had 90.
See, that's what I was talking about. Literally, that's the one I was talking about. GP Explorer. Again, this is why it's not the same. The European audience is very different than the American one.
1,000 people on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at an F4 race, all done by creators. And that is all because of the affinity that those creators built.
Affinity! We got it! We got affinity. I said if he said it, you got emotional affinity as a checkoff here.
With their community.
Oh, community, that's 20.
In Kings League, they're rethinking how soccer is done by having creators own teams, and then having very good soccer players, but not the best soccer players, but you feel part of the action when you're watching.
Jesus. Sorry, that's the funniest way to describe something. Not the best ones.
Okay. And the other thing that
it's not even really, it's a very different game than soccer, by the way. Also, do they call it soccer in Dubai or is it football there? Football.
It's been happening a lot is more and more celebrities are saying, I'm going to use Twitch as a secondary way of engaging with my community. So as you sit
21
here as a creator, don't be thinking, oh, but live streaming takes a lot of time. Think of it as, how does this augment everything else that I do as a creator? Okay? Right here you have Stud Buds, who did a 72-hour live stream. They're two WNBA basketball players. And they streamed the All-Star game. And you got to see a backstream look at what was happening during
a backstream look. Got anything to do with back shots?
During the All-Star game. Justin Bieber now is just streaming. He's doing a little bit of music, but mostly he's just exposing who he is.
Passed out in the ball pit.
Okay? And engaging with his fans.
Is he engaging with his fans? Does Dan watch any of these streams? Does Dan know anything about what's going on in his platform? Because if he watched any of these streams, he would... it's always Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is my favorite Twitch streamer. Yeah, so same here. He is my favorite. By the way, you guys know, this is... I think that Justin Bieber is, in fact, Twitch coded at this point. As you can see, he's streamed many times over the last 30 days. He's also streamed many times over the last 90 days. Because Justin Bieber stopped streaming in December. Oh no.
Pylor's on. Ask me. Please create a sales pitch about Twitch, where the words foundation and community are in focus. At least mention both words at least 25 times. Listen, my friend. Twitch is the ultimate foundation of groundbreaking connection, a community of wild creation, and unbounded enthusiasm. The foundation is built on streaming's electric pulse, pulsing through every community corner. Where else do you find community within a foundation of diverse personalities and stories? It's the very foundation of engagement, a community that thrives, grows, ignites. Join this foundation and become part of a community that never sleeps, always pulses, always delivers.
Not sure about the pulsing side of things, but otherwise, pretty good. Pretty good. That's pretty good. Make him CEO. I think the Beam streams were all for filming for his new Netflix coming out. Oh, really? See, here's the thing. Actually, I shared it in the Discord, so... This is what I shared in the premium chat, which is tos.gg. For those of you who don't know, I have, as part of my newsletter, I'm legally required to promote this on occasion. I have a $5 a month premium subscription that you can sign up for.
Thanks for gifting a sub.
It's $5 a month, or drops it down to $4.70. So it's cheaper than a Twitch sub. $5 a month. and you get access to, well, A, you help me directly, and then B, get access to a private Discord community where I share things that I don't share publicly. But yeah, here is why Justin Bieber is on Twitch. Justin Bieber arrived with clear purpose to show the grind before Coachella. The pop star quietly launched his channel last week and began broadcasting studio rehearsals, pickup hoops, and late night skate breaks. A debut streaming session, blah, 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 blah. According to People, source tied to the streams directly to his festival prep. The insider said Justin's Twitch is his way of letting fans see that he's excited and working hard for his headlining set. Now, the funny thing about that is that Justin Bieber's Coachella was essentially him doing... If you've seen any of the like videos from it, it seemed like for the most part it was pretty lo-fi. He sat there, he did some performances with other people, but a big portion of it was Justin Bieber watching YouTube at Coachella. Yeah. Does it show it?
Whatever it is, you know I can take it.
Biebercella was a real desert trip.
I just wanna be the one.
A lot of new, a little old,
Baby, alright.
and a YouTube look back that had some scratching their heads.
Wi-Fi, man, come on.
Justin's first ever headlining set at Coachella left fans divided. Critics said he didn't play his old hits, and when he did, he just mouthed the word.
Is it too late now to say sorry?
They called his performance sleepy.
I feel like we gotta...
Which, by the way, this is why I'm saying it's Twitch coded. It kind of sounds like it was a Twitch stream where you sit there, you watch some YouTube videos, and you occasionally talk about what's going on in the YouTube videos.
Take you guys on a bit of a journey.
Halfway through the set, Justin sat down at a desk to look up his old videos on a laptop.
Let me see, what's good?
Some called the stage setup bizarre and not worth his $10 million payday. Katy Perry watched from the crowd with her own critiques about his YouTube browsing.
And that is premium. I don't want to see no ads.
But some true believers love that the show was mostly his new album swag.
Yeah, anyways. So I found that kind of funny that he became a Twitch streamer and then his performance reflected the fact that he's now a Twitch streamer. So he just had to watch some YouTube videos. Very self-referential here. Subscribe now and you get your first month for free-ish. $5 is almost nothing. Kind of, yeah, it's basically nothing. I mean, in today's economy. To be fair, he watched D's Nuts. He did. At least he didn't let... Yeah, he had lied. Well, yeah, that's true. He did the whole set for like 50 minutes and then did the YouTube streams. Yes. If I ever heard about Katy Perry again, I'd be so happy. Oh, if I never heard. Oh, okay. In any case, I do find that funny that Twitch continues to break that out as like, hey, look, Justin Bieber, big streamer on Twitch. But really? Did that happen?
Oh, I don't think I'm a lot dumber than you thought that I thought I was once.
By the way, speaking of Justin Bieber, Panda, thank you very much for gifting a sub to Justin Bieber. Thank you. I'm sure he will appreciate the fact that he can now... Actually, does Justin Bieber... Hey, let's find out. By the way, this is one of the things that I think is kind of intriguing about Twitch, is that unlike any other platform, it's one of the few things that you can actually just kind of look somebody up and see if they're paying for Turbo. Or does he get ads? No, he gets ads. Wait, how do you get the ugly sweater? Sharing festive clips during holiday... Wait, why did he do that? Okay, fair enough. He's a part of the community. Top of 2025, Twitch partner, and a subscriber. Wait, why does he have a mod action? Oh, all right. Paranormal bag, got him. Hi, Lightling. Welcome. Does we even have a reactions category? Just thought of it considering how many do YouTube/others react. True. No, I don't think they do. No. Or I know they don't.
So I want okay, doing a little bit of music, but mostly he's just exposing who he is, okay, and engaging with his fans.
Yeah, and he hasn't streamed in 4 months, so it's going well. It's going well.
So I want to talk. Hold on, I want to end this by talking a little bit about where this is all going.
Okay, here we go. Now this I think is intriguing. I see you have an 8% discount on bits, assuming it's just an A/B test. Do you have an 8% discount on bits that is for this amount, or is it for this amount? $1,500 for 8%. Okay, so you do have a larger discount. So Yula Nation, you are actually part. So there's a Yula Nation. Have you purchased bits in the past? You have a 7% discount. Why do you have a? Oh wait, no, it's a better one. Okay, you have purchased bits in the past. Salty, have you purchased bits in the past? No, they're not implying you're a broke. Well, I'll explain in a second. I only got 5. Yes, 5% is the standard, okay? So for those of you who don't know, this 5% has always been there. There's always been a volume discount for the more that you buy, the bigger discount you get. You have, yeah, okay, good. Okay. Twitch, I actually mentioned this again in the TOS.GG premium chat, I think last night. Twitch currently is running an experiment that if you have purchased bits in the past, they're offering different levels of discount for you. And that is, if you've not purchased them in the past, then I don't think that you would get access to the discount, because they know, hey, you know what this product is. Maybe you just need some motivation to buy it, and we'll give you a little discount to try to nudge you through the door and make a purchase. Creators still get the same amount on the other side. So if you do take advantage of a 5% discount, an 8% discount or 7% discount or whatever it is, creators will still get the $15 USD from that and whatever they are, right? Like they don't take the cut on the creator side. 8% discount, okay. So yeah, I think that might be the max. It might actually be that. I thought it was 10%, to be honest with you. I thought that 10% was the max discount for 1,500. No, 10% for 5,000. Does anybody have that one? Does anybody have I got too many arrows. Does anybody have a 10% discount for 5,000? Also get bonus bits from a survey? Yeah, those are good. I always do those. Oh, you have 11%. Okay, so then maybe that's the minimum. You have 10%. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so they are, so that does make sense. Okay, cool. Nobody has anything higher than that, though. I don't know how you ask this of people. How do I say, hey, do you have a discount? It's just such a shot in the dark. So yes, you are part of a experiment where you get a higher percentage discount because you have purchased bits in the past. Not everybody. I don't have it, of course. I've purchased bits a lot in the past, but I don't have that discount. Hi, One Portuguese Farm, by the way. How are you doing? Welcome in. I miss watch ads for bits. Yeah, that's been dead for a long time. It's never coming back. Yeah, I still get surveys, Rhode Island. You haven't seen it since 2020? Oh. Try reapplying for it. Try to see if you can reapply for the program. Because yeah, they're still active. You should make a fun little survey on termsofservice.guernsey. I don't know what that means. Oh, GG. Not TOS.GG. I get what you're saying now. 12% on 2,500? Yeah. That's the standard discount. That is the standard. These numbers right here that you're seeing are standard. They've always been offered. Always been offered. All right. Anyways, that's kind of cool. Thank you so much for sharing. I do appreciate that. So yeah, so it's 3% higher than the standard. Pretty good. Tony, don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. All right, let's continue. Okay, yes. Dan Clancy is about to talk about the future. This is the thing that I have always not lost my mind. I lose my mind over a lot of things when it comes to Clancy. One of the things that I have been frustrated by, or that I have expressed my disappointment in, is that Dan doesn't really have a vision of the future. Dan doesn't really think what comes next, or at least I haven't heard him talk about that. And that's something that I wish that the CEO of the company would have a vision of. Hey, we want to see this, we want to see this, we want to see that, we're expecting this. Because if the CEO has a vision of where things are going, then presumably they're going to have a plan that helps them get to that spot to take advantage of the opportunities that do present themselves in that world. But he doesn't bring up the future much. He doesn't. So I'm intrigued to see what he says here, and hope it's not just some boilerplate, boring, milquetoast ass take that provides nothing of value and nothing to look forward to be like, well, I think we're going to see a lot more people doing streaming with their Meta glasses, and I think that we will see a lot more community-centric focus by streams that are funding their, like, I hope it's just not that boring shit. Actually come up with a vision. Like, again, my vision is in a world dominated with AI-generated content on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitter, where you won't know what's real and what's not. I think that, and you're fed everything, and you can get anything that you want at a moment's notice. Be like, hey, TikTok feed, I want more the hot frog. I don't know why I'm saying hot frogs, but I want more sexy frogs in my feed, and then all of a sudden you'll get a bunch of hot, sexy frogs in your feed. Again, I don't know why I said it. Just ignore. Just go with it. Just go with it. All those frogs will be gay, by the way. You don't have a chance. But in that world of AI generated content is everywhere. The thing that you're probably going to, as a human, would probably end up occurring is you go, I don't want any of this. This is overwhelming. It's constantly trying to get my attention. Like, once you have access to everything, then it's not really that exciting, right? Like, if anything you could ever imagine is available to you, you're probably going to need something else to be stimulating to you, because it becomes boring. It becomes default. There's nothing excited to look forward to. There's nothing you haven't seen before. And in that world of you don't know whether or not something is human created or AI generated, or if it's real. Can I trust my eyes and what I'm seeing? Can I trust my ears and what I'm hearing? In that world, I think that humanity, part of it, rejects it. And people start taking a step back and going, I want, and I'm kind of an example of this, in that I want a little bit of a slower life. I don't want an algorithm that's trying to feed me content 24/7. I don't want my attention span to be destroyed the way that it is now. I want to retake my brain power, that I'm making choices, and it's not just being fed to me, and I'm just going, yes, next one, yes, next one. And in that world, I think there still will be demand for human-created content and the human experience, the community experience that Dan is talking about here. And I think that the only place that you will find that is in a Twitch stream. Or not a Twitch stream, but a live stream. Because live is human, it is imperfect, it is not going to be easily replicable by AI. Like the human condition, the human experience is very, very unique. And I don't think that AI is going to get good enough in the short term to be able to replicate that. So being able to, as Dan correctly says, finding people in the chat that you recognize, and you guys interact with each other. Lightning here interacting with Rhode Island, and give me another example of somebody interacting. You guys are Ulination interacting with Salty. That Falcor interacting with Rhode Island, or sorry, the reverse. Oh, no, they did both. That's the world that I think is to the benefit of Twitch. That's the world that I think Twitch is going to have a lot of strength in. That's the world that they should be leaning on, is going, how do we make it easier for communities to interact with their audiences and their audiences to connect with creators and find people that they're actually going to be interested in that content. Salty as a baby girl, yes. So that's my vision of the future. And I have ideas on how they would do that and how they would implement that for Twitch. Again, I talked about it before in terms of innovation for particular categories. You really do want to lean in on the idea of humanity, of a personal experience. None of this overarching attention nonsense to ice cream so good systems. Those are all stupid. That's a bad idea. Bad from the start. I'm glad they killed it. But I'm intrigued to hear what he has to say. Is unmatched. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the strength. And he's saying it. He is saying that. He is saying that the interaction of recognizing people and sitting down and staying a while and everybody knows your name, like that those things are true. Those things are true. But that's the thing that they should be doubling down upon.
Okay, for you as a creator. So first of all, don't think of or. Do I stream or do I do something else? Think of streaming as part of your creative expression.
Okay. That's not a future plan. That's just like good advice for anybody now. And quite frankly, if you are wanting to, and this is kind of why it's like a really important time for people to take advantage of the systems that exist in terms of discovery on TikTok, where you should just post your clips and content everywhere because maybe some of it hits, maybe some of it connects with people. Because you are going to, this is my concern about the future, is this might be the last era where content creators can be discovered. And yeah, it does make it a little bit harder to be discovered 5 years from now, 3 years from now. In that world, I don't necessarily know that you get the same benefit of posting a YouTube video or a TikTok in order to achieve an outcome that somebody wants to watch more. Hey, Miss Gamer. Do I want pizza or tacos? Dan, yes.
I'll tell you right now, if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. Okay? If you're doing it to get somewhere, don't do it. Do it because it's fun. And think of it upstream of other content you create. That's one reason why streaming took off in gaming, is because the one thing every gaming creator had in common was to make a 20-minute video of them gaming, they had to game for 4 hours. And
what? Sorry. All right, let me just process that. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. There's a lot of people who became very successful on Twitch that didn't have a YouTube presence, that they weren't active on other platforms. It's one of the things I think is funny about the streaming space is that discovery has gotten harder as time has gone on, as there is more competition in the space. But those original, and it's why people like Co-Carnage and Dan's Gaming and ItMeJP and Ninja and Tim the Tatman and Summit, a lot, and Shroud, and a lot of these people were very successful back then, are still successful now because of the fact that they were here early, that presented them opportunities that got them to it in a position that basically keeps them there. This has always been a bit of a kingmaker system. Twitch has, in terms of the discovery, how people get discovered in a live environment where you don't have the traditional benefits of discovery, which is search. A lot of those people are still very successful today because of the past. And what I think is fascinating about that is that so many of the people that originally found Twitch and got into Twitch and watched Twitch back then are still actively watching today. Whereas people who joined in the pandemic, a lot of them aren't here anymore. And you can actually see, I mean, you can literally see that in the data, where the viewership, you know, these people who, yeah. So here's 2021. That's when we overall peaked. When we peaked in total viewership, and everything has just been trending down ever since. But a lot of those creators, and again, I get a little bit surprised. I was talking about this last week when somebody who I recognize as being like that's a 7,000 viewer streamer is no longer a 7,000 viewer streamer. Those people are starting to now bleed off as streaming is not necessarily innovating as much as it once did. But a lot of those people had dominant presence for 10 years and only recently have started to see viewership decline. Hi, Busy Bee. Hey, Busy Bee, what is that one? Oh, you are Twitch staff. I was like, wait, I recognize. Why is that badge different? How are you doing, Busy Bee? I think he means people had to game a lot anyway if they wanted to make a short YouTube video. Sure. No, he is right about that. But again, I don't think that that's how people got discovered. Back then, things like the host system, which S-Fan was talking about the other day. Felt that wrong, but that's okay. It still delivered what I wanted. I also shared this in the Discord. Yeah, so BBJS posted this. Back in the day, you would get a raid on Twitch with 600 viewers, and it would immediately start a crazy hype train. You get hundreds of followers. Cut to today on Kick, where you get 600 viewer host, and it's, not a single person talks. And S-Fan responded, retweeted, this is actually true nowadays in general. Raids always feel so quiet, it's almost awkward. I've gotten 10K viewer raids where only a couple people talk, and the viewers evaporate within minutes. Back when I first started streaming on Twitch, I remember getting hosted. They were better than raids, and you will never convince me otherwise, for 10K, and it would have over 3K viewers at the end of the night when I only averaged a couple hundred at the time. It does feel to me like the pandemic really just changed the experience on Twitch. And again, we've talked about that in a variety of ways in terms of whether or not like things like endless subathons and the financialization of the entire product to the extreme degree where ads interrupt, where everything is just trying to get you to sub and gift and sub and gift and bits and sub. And there's nothing really that feels like it's organic anymore. Everybody is incredibly incentivized to say, pay up, everybody. Put money in the hand right now. Do it. Everybody's incentivized to do that. Yeah, and I don't know if that's what changed things, or if it's the state of the world, or if it's inflation. There's a variety of reasons why that may be the case. So I'm not inherently just blaming it on one thing. But it does. Again, I was on Twitch and really fell in love with the overall. I said overall again, with the experience of Twitch in 2016, 2017. And as a streamer in 2018 and 2019, got to experience what was kind of the tail end of the Bleed Purple era. And anybody who's been here since before the pandemic will probably say, yeah, it was just different back then. And I don't know what that difference exactly is. I don't know what that difference exactly is, but it does feel different. It does feel different. 2019 was peak Twitch. I think 2018, 2019 was probably the peak Twitch in the sense of the community feel to it. Whereas now it doesn't feel as community centric. Wasn't talking about Discovery, talked about reasons to stream. Oh no, I know. I know that, TMR. I know that. I'm a little surprised Twitch doesn't have any sort of celebration or commemoration of your account age, not even a discount. Yeah, that's a good idea, Ulination. Yeah. Not a bad idea. I was sure during the remove horror era. It was different back then when it was called Justin TV, for sure. Like, I wasn't around then. I do sometimes wonder or wish that I had started streaming sooner. I do wish that, like, maybe I started in 2014 or 2015. But I don't think that I would have done well, if that makes any sense. Because, again, I'm not a huge gamer. I like talking. I like to discuss things that are non-gaming specific. I live or die. I certainly didn't see as many streamers that were literally just companies and TV content. True. For real. All right, let's continue.
Now they're like, what? I can have people hang out with me while I game? Then I can create my video and I can make money on the video? Shoot, I'll do that. So.
Okay.
Don't be...
That's not really the future, though. That's kind of the present. Or, again, maybe that's the pitch from 5 years ago.
thinking of it something else.
By the way, when I talk about Twitch and like the risks of the future and like where this platform is headed, recognize that I have a little bit more of a pessimistic take for creators on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram than I do for Twitch, because I think those platforms are going to experience the hell of the slawpocalypse of that kind of level of competition on AI generated content that a lot of people are, and for YouTube, they're going to reap the benefits of that kind of content and having more things to advertise against and the, content that perfectly matches with the potential advertiser. Like, I do think that the next 5 to 10 years are probably going to redefine the entire creator space. And a lot of people who you know today as being a YouTuber, like an edge case YouTuber, where maybe they have, if this is the scale of you have 0 subscribers and this is 1 million subscribers, real subscribers, not shorts feed subscribers, because those subscribers just don't count. They're just not the same. But like historically, if you had 100K subscribers on YouTube, you had a career. Like, you had a sustainable career, because 100K meant that you would get a reasonable amount of views on all of your videos. Even in the worst case scenario, you would have brand deals. Like, that was a very solid position to be in. If you had like 20K, you had a reliable income. Like, you had a reliable side gig here. Whereas now, I don't know what that range exactly is. I've seen people with like 500K subscribers who are going, guys, I don't know if I can afford my rent this month. I don't know how much longer I can do this, because there's not enough ad revenue coming in from my videos. And so I think that only gets a lot harder. I think it only gets a lot harder for creators on YouTube in the years ahead. So it is possible that you, and maybe this is the argument that Twitch should be making when they are recruiting these people to the platform, is to say, hey, look, this is going to get hard. Twitch, if you actually bring real community and you establish an actual foundation of community on Twitch, you might actually have something sustainable long term that won't be like 100K. It won't be that level sustainable, but maybe it'll be like the historic 10 to 20K, where it provides you a baseline to build from. Yeah, I think that content creation is going to be completely redefined over the next 10 years, where I don't think that you're going to have kids who are asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a TikToker. I want to be an influencer. I think that's going to change. I think that you will see, oh, I want to be a plumber. I want to be this. I want to be that. By nature of, that's where the opportunities for them will lie. What's the current percentage? How many people want to be YouTubers? 57%. 57% want to be influencers. Yeah. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I think in the same realm of oh yeah, I just not gonna happen. The future is making videos of Clancy twerking. True. Yep. AI isn't going to generate a non-leaking sink. Well, that assumes that there's water to come out of it. A lot of people are going to have their dreams crushed for sure. Yeah. Again, this is somewhat of a pessimistic take, right? Like, I don't like being, I've always, again, my bias is always towards creators. I really think that there's opportunities for creators that are present today. And the people who are taking advantage of those opportunities today are the ones that will succeed in the next 5-10 years throughout difficult times. One of the things that, for me personally, here's a personal one that I think matters, and you guys can apply this yourself. One of the things that I think is the best thing that I have done personally is to establish myself as a how do I say this without just sounding like self pat on the back, cocky, because it's not really the intent. I've made myself into a reliable, trustworthy person, right? I haven't chased any kind of gimmicks. I haven't tried to squeeze anybody for money. I haven't taken any crypto deals. I haven't jumped on Kick to do gambling. I've always tried to position my or trying to be a good creator citizen that is helpful to other people, without having to without being corruptible in any sense of the word. Okay. And that doesn't mean that like I'm trying to like change your minds or influence you directly. I'm just generally trying to provide information to people. I think that in the next 10 years, that reputation is the thing that is going to carry me forward. That is the thing that will actually allow me to continue to be a creator, to continue to try and provide information, to try and to continue to do this work, is because people do have an inherent recognition of my name and equate that name with trust. Those are the things that I think matter, is recognition and trust. And so a lot of people have the recognition side, but they're burning their trust. And you see that a lot with people. Again, I understand it. But you do see a lot of people that don't necessarily put the same amount of value on the trust that their community, that their audience, that their viewers have in them, to make sure that they're actually respecting that trust and continuing to build upon it. And again, it can be worth burning some of it if it means that it's to pay out your rent and so forth. Again, times are tough, but that is something that I think is really, really important, because I think it's going to be so difficult in the next 10 years to develop that name recognition. Again, look at TikTok, you don't recognize anybody's name, and B, the trust that what you're saying is legitimate, is fair, is correct, is reasonable, isn't fabricated, isn't trying to snap a headline and get people's attention through clickbait. Those are the things that I think will or do matter, and have been things that I have intentionally reminded myself of, to be like, yeah, as long as you continue to try to do your best, try to live up to the expectations that people have. And so times like these, just for, again, to kind of reinforce this, as soon as I saw the notification on Twitch, I knew to come to you immediately. Thank you so much. Thank you for explaining, since Twitch never does a good job at doing that. Like that matters a lot to me. That I really, that felt good to have people say that, hey, I knew that you were going to cover this, and I knew I could trust what you had to say about it. Very glad you covered this. I saw a notification, was like, yeah, but what did you add? So frustrating they didn't tell you what the additions are. I'm especially grateful. I don't care for Twitter, but I'm exceptionally grateful for this. Thank you. Yeah. Anyways. So I couldn't, yeah. So yeah, again, I don't really, I don't like to talk about myself too much, because I'm not the central, well, I guess I kind of am the central figure here. But as soon as I do bussy NFTs, then we're on the downswing. We're on the downswing. You can use Clancy as a gimmicky cash cow for content. Buddy sold me 10K NFT. Did he? Well, that's on him. Trust the bussy. It's why exactly I wrote it with every soundbite. Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It's true. I don't care for Twitter. Person commenting on Twitter. I know. Oh, and that's why I told them I'm also on Blue Sky and Threads, and posted videos on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. There are other places that you can find me. Side note, one of the things I think is funny about this is the number of people that said something nice about, oh, I knew that you would cover this, that they don't follow me. I found that really intriguing. I did find that really intriguing. Again, I don't know if this person follows or not, but I was just like, it's so interesting that so many people were hopeful and optimistic that I would cover it, but then they don't follow. All right, fair enough. I think if you can check out self-promo just for your spiel in the last couple minutes, I guess so. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Again, I don't like to do it too often. The feature's just so good at bringing you back to the content that you want. True. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Else I have to do. Think of it's something I'm already doing, and I'm letting those people that are fans of me in to be part of the ride. Okay?
Okay.
Now, the other thing I often tell people that are thinking about how do I use Twitch? What should I do? How do I do it? A big part of it is collaboration.
Ah, we got collaboration. Did we get a guest star reference?
Okay. Find other interesting people and do interesting things together. Another reason that gaming became so popular, gaming is inherently collaborative. Every time you game, you're actually co-creating. You're a bunch of creators here. It's fun to make content with other creators because you feel a connection. And you feel that connection not just with the creators, but with your audience that's watching. Now, the last thing I want to talk about a little bit is what's happening with AI, because of course...
Oh, we got an AI reference. That's one. He didn't really talk about the future. He talked about the present.
That's written, if I'm going to get up here, of course I have to talk about AI.
He's doing that weird words. Yeah, he is. Okay, that's two mentions.
I think one reason there's this interest in live streaming is because when something is just a short video or a picture, more and more you don't know if that's real, right? And more for you as a creator, you think, to what degree am I competing with AI? Okay? When you're live, there is no way, I'm sorry, AI is not close to being able to replicate what you can do live.
Okay.
It's not close.
Yep.
It's a novelty.
Yep.
Okay? AI helps you be more creative. It is an extension of you, and it's a tool for you to think of what cool stuff can I do. The biggest challenge when you're live streaming
I'm
is
sure you can find weirdly sitting in the audience. Possible.
you need stimulus that you respond to, that you can be entertaining with. One way you get that stimulus is other people. Another way you can get that stimulus is to just use AI as a tool of your creative expression.
He literally is doing word salad again. He's saying the same things over and over again. God damn it. He just said that. He literally just said that. He can use it as a tool for creative expression. But he said that right before.
Tool for you to think of what cool stuff can I do.
You can use it as a tool for your creative expression.
The biggest challenge when you're live streaming is you need stimulus that you respond to, that you can be entertaining with. One way you get that stimulus is other people.
Oh, I just noticed he has a timer. I only just noticed that.
Another way you can get that stimulus.
It's remarkable how nobody is listening or paying attention. On their phone. Okay, listening, I guess. Guy looking at the ceiling, on their phone, on their phone. Guy looking down. Guy on their phone, guy looking at the phone, guy looking up, guy looking down, guy looking in the distance. There's just really not a lot of people paying attention.
Is to just
People can't pause, need to repeat some things? I guess so.
AI as a tool of your
Would be
creative
hard, their audience?
expression.
I don't think so. I
And
don't
you
think
can
you can
think
afford
of
that.
what are the
This
things
isn't
I want to
Clancyville.
create, and how can I use other people and other tools to help me create it? So to wrap up, personally, I think the reason it is becoming so popular now is because more and more creators are looking for more of an authentic connection with their audience, and your audience is looking for a more authentic connection with you, to know who you are, okay? And to get behind the scenes and to really feel part of your co-creation. So as you think about your future and what you're gonna do, think about how you can turn all...
It really didn't answer the question, where is this all going? It just kind of said, hey, you should do it. I was really optimistic because again, he never has a vision of the future. It always just seems locked into the present or the past.
All of your fans into a community where the
22.
connection is with you. With that, thank you.
All right. Well, there There it is. Very exciting. In this talk, Dan Clancy explains what actually makes live streaming different and why Twitch continues to dominate when it comes to building real audiences. From how streamers build loyal communities to why viewers stay for hours, this breakdown reveals the real reason creators are shifting towards live streaming and what platforms still don't understand. If you're a creator, this will change how you think about growth. I don't know that it did that, but maybe. All right, well, guys, I was not planning to do this for the entire thing today, but we got really sidetracked in a lot of different conversations here. Everyone was always on their phone? Kind of true. Kind of true. I'm going to buy a more authentic connection with my audience and automate the process. I'm sure somebody's trying to figure that one out right now. With that, though, guys, I do think I need to wrap it up for today. It is now 7 o'clock. I have been live for 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's the perfect amount of time to see my face before you start to go, does only his mother love him? Is that possible? So I'm here for the sidetracks, not for the videos. Yeah, it's same here, TMR. Same here. So we are one and the same in that regard, because these videos are often nothing in terms of long-term value. Hey, quick question. Did any of you know anything about how to make a light not flicker?
Lizard, 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 lizard. Lizard.
Wait. So I got this little fancy light here, right? I got this little fancy light.
Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. Fix it, fix it, fix it.
This is literally, by the way, this is sponsored section of the stream. It's not actually. But it kind of is, because I'm forcing you to look at a Streamlabs logo. I bought this. I paid for this. This was not part of the deal that I had with Streamlabs, but I was like, I want this in the background because I like representing the brand. I believe in their brand. I believe in their company. I use their product. And so, and again, they are the lead sponsor for me this year. Signed a deal with them late last year. But I've tried different camera rates. So I've tried 30, I tried 60, I tried 50. Watch what happens when I turn this on. Do you see that? Do you see that? You see how it's got, I mean, you can't not see it. It's impossible not to see. I have tried everything to fix this. By the way, that's at 10% brightness. This is the full brightness. Jesus. Which is, it removes it. It does remove the lens beams there. There's a filter film you can put on it, so it's not as bad. Oh. Try X2 the hertz, so 60. Try 10. I don't think I can. I don't think I have that ability. But yeah, so it doesn't do it at 100%, but that's too bright. And so like I'll try 90%, and then it starts showing up. 80%, 70%, 60%, sorry, 60%, 50%, 40%, 30%, 20%, and 10%. I think it looks best at 10%. There's a film for when it gets too bright as well. I have some. Okay. So I should get a film thingy. LED flickers really fast to light up, so dimming it changes the internal hertz. Well, so that's exactly it. Is that when I'm not, when I'm streaming, I'm just leaving it like this, right? You still see it. It's still there. It is LED. It is LED. Have you tried smacking it? I have tried smacking it. It also does this. Should I do my streams like this? Wait. Should I just do the... That's not distracting at all. That'd be good. It'd be good branding for Streamlabs. Or that one. Would that make good content? Epilepsy warning. Yes, epilepsy warning. That one. Then there's this one. And that one. That one's not bad. In the sense that you don't necessarily see the lines, but it's just very distracting. Just cause up. I know, Alan. I'm sorry. Hopefully, nobody look at it. Hopefully. That one's bad too. That one's okay. In any case, I can't figure it out. So, yeah. What's the power source? Is it straight into the outlet? It is straight into the outlet, yes. Who got any glow sticks and UV paint? Let's wave party. Can you set it to a single color? It's only white. White is the only option. Put it at 80%, up your normal lighting, make your cam dimmer. Might work. It's the LED. I think it is. I think it is the LED's problem. I do think that's the case. I do think that's the case. In any case, I again, it's fine like this. For when I'm streaming, I think that's fine. Or making like a YouTube video, I think that's okay. What I am doing is when I do a short, like here, I'll show you. Let me go back here. Because I don't think it's as annoying in short format. You guys tell me if I'm wrong or not, though. This is why I wanted to ask you guys, is because now you see the situation. In a short, I actually think that it's not as annoying because you're actually watching this part, you're hearing me, and I think that the little lines actually add something to this video. It's weird to say, but I think that this, because it's a short video, yeah, it seems like an effect. It seems like it's somewhat intentional. That it's like, hey, there's a mention of my Streamlabs sponsor in the background. So that, again, you're mostly paying attention to this and me, and then there's just like a background interesting thing occurring. Those lines are Subway Surfer in your shorts. Bussyception, exactly. But anyways, I this was an intentional choice to be like, okay, leave that off during streams and YouTube videos, but in a short, I think it actually works. It's kind of weird to say. But I wanted a second opinion on that, or a 10th opinion. This is why I asked you guys if that looks annoying or not. Is on you. Now, the part that's actually a little bit more interesting, I think it works, to me, is number 8, and that's under the user content section. So this part initially is... anyways, you guys aren't saying, no, that's terrible, that looks bad, that looks like shit, so I'll take it as a semi-endorsement to be like, yeah, it's fine. Oh, okay, cool. I'll take a look at that after Illusion and see if it's slow enough on video. Yeah. Like it's not distracting. It is not new. Not super distracting, anyways. The part that is new starts here by live stream. I guess you could stick a color film over the front to make it a color and therefore dimmer. You can run it on full. I'm gonna take a look at what Illusion has sent me and see if that fixes it. Because again, not that I need to have it on. But this is not going to be its final resting place in the sense of this apartment that I'm in right now. I'm not going to be here forever. So presumably the next place that I'm in will have a better position in the background where it actually makes sense. And it won't be just like right here, but that's where I'm just putting it for right now. Originally I'd put it over here. And then this was over to this side. Or actually I think it was reversed the way that I was doing it. But anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah. Anyways, cool. I just wanted to quickly run that by you, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. But I was just, I just wanted a second opinion. So, and if anybody had any thoughts, because it's my first ever custom made fake neon LED sign. We should raid somebody, right? Right. I did a bunch of research on this for an LED sign. I have, and I never fixed it. Did verify that it works. Okay, that is good to know. What LED sign do you have? I actually have a second LED sign that I got a long time ago that I never used. Actually, where is that? One second. Long time ago, I never did anything with it. Long time ago, this was sent to me by Logitech, which owns Streamlabs, by the way, so somewhat related. And I've literally never opened it. There's actually no Logitech branding on it. It just says keep playing, which I was actually kind of like, that's kind of cool. But I've never set it up. Let me just see if it does a flare thing. Look. Does it do it? Oh, you can't even see it. So goddamn bright. We'll figure that out later. I forgot that I had it. We need a TOS.GG LED sign. Yes. Keep playing shouldn't say start playing for you. No, it means the player. Keep the... Don't pause the stream. Don't mute it because you need to play because Twitch doesn't count lurkers. Was that bought on a random store on the Streamlabs store? Which one? This one? No. This was given to me by Logitech. This one I had made myself. I actually paid for that. All right, let's raid somebody. Let us raid somebody. Who is live? We raided Gwen recently. She can't possibly... Oh, Ron Pappy. That's who we're going to raid. We are going to raid Ron Pappy. She raided us recently, and so we're going to return the favor. She is currently playing Pocophobia. And I guess she's a Magneton, a Magnemite. So, Payatola? Sure. Agreed. Is that the guy who's the new guy in charge of Iran? The Payatola? Bad joke, but we're going with it. / raid Ron Pappy. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Oh, you made it. You need to ask the company who made it to help them because that's the way they're doing it. Okay. All right. I will ask. I will reach out to them. One Portuguese fan. Hi, Mary McCheese, by the way. I did not acknowledge you, but that was intentional. Clancy allegedly said the Ayatollah must be avenged. So when he went to the Middle East, I've heard that could be true, but also heard that there's nothing backing that up. So who really knows anymore? Who knows anymore? Yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Have a fantastic day and whatever you get up to. Thanks so much for the bits, the blurps, the gifted subs, the new follows, the raid, the stream streaks, resubs. Yeah, thanks so much for coming by. Most importantly, thanks for coming by. Whether or not you chatted in the chat, you were a non-chatter, as Dan Clancy says, because lurkers are not allowed. Or you actively engaged in chat and provided value, and you didn't just sit here being a lurker that doesn't count for anything. They don't count you anymore. In either case, thanks so much for being here. I do appreciate it. Have a fantastic rest of your day. See you guys in the next one. Join the Discord if you're not in there already. And sign up for my newsletter, TOS.GG. Every single Monday, send you out a newsletter covering everything happening in the creator space. And you'll enjoy it. And with that, let's go say hi to Ron Pappy. Goodbye, everybody. See you in the next one. And